What's going on? What's going on? All right, you know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6. We are live and direct, live in effect on this Sunday. Weather was pretty solid today. Had a pretty decent weekend. Got some more reading done. I actually got a chance to do. A lot of you guys probably saw I was on Super Slide 75's channel. I know a few of you guys actually came over. I think I got about like 40 or 50 subscribers from the channel. But if you're here from Super Slide 75 channel, welcome here. This is what we do on Sunday nights. We chop it up and talk about current events, as well as law. A lot of people are into that, starting to get into it as well. We have some frequents who come in here and basically drop comments. It's usually like a group of us that just have a conversation pretty much and just, bounce information, which is always a great thing. Information is endless. So thank you for joining the channel and thank you for coming through. You already know who I am. I'm A6, the foreign national born natural, and we're gonna rock out. Let's see who we got in the chat. Civic Maker, what's up, man? What's going on with you, chat? I was reading more of that of that book, the paper trip, bro. I was reading more of that today. Man, I swear, every page I read of that book, I learn something new. Every at least one or two things every page. It's amazing how much I've learned. Like they go into detail about stuff. I'm not even gonna get into all of it now, but they go, they go into detail. What up, Jimmy? What's going on, famo? Good to see you here, man. I know you probably work usually on Sundays. I usually see Jimmy on the Tuesday shows now. He used to be here every Sunday, like a few months back. What up, Prof? What's up, man? Yes, sir. You know how we do it. Alex, what's going on? All right, Alex is in the house. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Alex is another regular. Thank you for tuning in, sweetheart. Tim, my man, always looking out for me, man. Thank you so much, Tim. Hit the likes, everyone coming in. Yep, bang the like button on the way in. It don't cost you a thing. Hit the like button, get the algorithm going. The machine is trying to hold me back, but show them the people are stronger than the machine because the machine can't exist without the people. Millie, was good with you, man? How you doing? Good to see you here. The Bad Wolf. The Bad Wolf. What's good, champ? I was on Bad Wolf channel too. You guys probably saw that the previous Tuesday. I got a few guys over from his channel as well. So please, if you haven't watched either, go on Super Sly 75's. I'm a matter of fact, I'm gonna post the name here. Go subscribe to Super Sly 75. We a family here. We all help each other out and we all grow. So that's Super Sly 75 channel. I'm ready to post that up. So subscribe to him on YouTube if you aren't already. And then there's the Bad Wolf. Post his next. This is the Bad Wolf right here. All right, so that's the Bad Wolf. So those of you who aren't, so there's probably very few of you, but those who aren't subscribed to the Wolf, whoever came through from Sly's channel, and you don't know about the Bad Wolf, he talks about the same stuff I talked about yesterday. And if you're interested in that kind of stuff, there's a family of us, and we all coincide with each other. So yes, indeed, we when we get together and we start talking about information, the best thing to do if you're new to this type stuff is to grab your pen and pad and just start taking notes. Cause yo, we cover a vast amount of info, man. For real. We cover a vast amount of info when we start talking. Oh man, I put 74. My bad. That's an error. Hold on, let me change that. I gotta change that. My fucking finger slipped. Hold on a sec. Ah, that's right. That's it right there. Yeah. That's the channel right there. What's up? What's up, Carl? That's the channel right there. Yeah, that's the channel. So if you wanna subscribe to Super Slide, go support my man right there. And then you got Wolf's channel up there too. Yep. James, they got you on shadow ban. I got the notification 2 times and still not. See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, yo, this is why, like, they started to put me in a chokehold right around. I noticed that around, like, I think it was like maybe 1,700 subscribers. They started to chokehold the joint. So I would get like one subscriber every 3 or 4 days, which is still better than nothing. But I mean, it's a big difference between when I was at like 8 and when I was at 1,013 and 14, like yo, it was I was getting like 4, 5, 6 every day. Then when I got to 17, it was a screech halt. So they definitely fucking around with the algorithm, man. But I'm combating that. I'm doing the shorts. You guys saw the shorts I did this week. I try to drop at least 4 to 5 shorts a week. So I think I did like 3, maybe 4 this week. But I'll start dropping more shorts, and then I'll do a show. I added another show on Tuesday nights in order to get that algorithm going. Get the more videos out. The more, because the one thing I've noticed, the more videos you drop, the more your channel's pushed in the algorithm. The way I was doing it before with just one show a week, that's not going to get it. So you really got to be more frequent. So your consistency is going to be what gets you that algorithm. You want to get caught up in that traffic. Once you get caught in the traffic, the machine carries a little bit. It also helps if you talk about shit they like you to talk about. But if we out here dropping bars like we do, they don't really fuck with that too heavy. But that's all part of the game, man. You know how that goes. Yes, sir. Carl, my man Carl in the house. It's actual and shadow man. Yeah, they got me on the shadow joint, but it's all good though, because like I said, the people more powerful than any machine, man, for real. It's all about us. All about us. We stronger than the machine. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all do stuff like hit the like. You guys are probably everybody here, I'm sure, is subscribed already. Anybody else who's watching the replay, you watching the video and you enjoy what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. Help the channel grow. Share the video too. If you're in another group of people or something like that on Telegram or wherever, you can share the video in there too. We pull more people in. That's how it goes. But yeah, like you said, just keep pushing. That's what we're doing. But it's all good though, man, because we already knew what time they was on when we got involved. You feel me? So it's all good. All right. So let's start with some of the things. Now they got me on like kind of a restriction with the Instagram videos. For some reason, they only let me open one at a time now. I was doing like 5 before. Y'all remember before when I would pull up the videos I saw during the week, before I would have like 4 or 5. Now they let me do one. So they're not trying to let me show y'all a lot of stuff that's going on, but we still going to maintain because some of the stuff I was able to find on YouTube. So let me show y'all what I've seen here. Hold on. There we go. Share screen. All right. All right. This is from the YouTube channel I Self Law and Master Online. So take a look at this right here. This is a short little video they got about the truth about the Confederates. But some of this stuff is new to me. I knew I had wind of some of this stuff, but I wasn't 100% clear on it. But listen to what they got to say about this.
Whoa, now what do we have here? As we can see, when Europeans arrived in the Americas during the 16th and 17th century, they found that some American tribes had created alliances or confederacies. These agreements allowed the member tribes of the Confederacy to control trade and keep the peace in their region. You see, the one thing that a lot of people don't know is that the Confederacies were really truly ran by us, by melanated people. And what a lot of people don't know is that that flag is actually our ancient symbolism, right? Did you know that that flag there that you see, right there, actually has 4 triangles on it? 4 triangles. And that actually represents earth, wind, water, and fire. You had a whole group of been trying to put you on game for years, since like the 70s, but nobody was listening. Huh? Nobody was listening. Not to mention that flag there has 13 stars on it. What's so significant about 13? It's a very powerful and ancient number of our ancestors that represented the divine feminine. And if you know, like I know, 13 is very significant. We had 13 tribes of Israel, right? We have 13 months on the Hebrew calendar. We actually have 13 astrology signs. Did y'all know that? 13 signs of astrology, right? And it wasn't Jesus and 12 disciples. It was actually 13 disciples, huh? Because Jesus was a disciple too. And did you know how many colonies did they have when we first, gave them the knowledge to set up here? It was 13 colonies. You see, that is a very powerful and significant number to our ancestors, but for some reason, they turned it into evil. And again, because it represents the divine feminine, some reason we had to make it a bad or a negative thing, like Friday the 13th. Hello. I guess really the real question is, who made you hate yourself, right? Because that flag there is symbolism that stretches back thousands of years to your ancestors and goes back much further than any of these slavery times. And let's get this straight too, right? The Civil War was not about slavery. This was about American Indians, tribal Americans who were fighting over their land, right? You had American Indians who were fighting against each other, right? And then you have Britain over here sitting to the side like, these boys over here tripping. So you know what? I'm going to actually fund both sides of the war. And whoever wins, hell, we're going to be victorious too. And we're going to swoop right in and take control. And of course, after the Confederates lost and the Civil War was over, the whole country was in turmoil. And of course, Britain slid right in and said, hey, brother, don't worry about it. We can pay off whatever y'all need. We got money. We got investment. We're going to fund to refix all of this. And they started extending us loans that they knew we would never pay off. And of course, along with that came the 1871 Naturalization Act that naturalized all tribal Americans from Choctaw, Cherokee, Blackfoot into Black U.S. citizens with no longer having rights or inalienable rights for that.
All right. I don't think it gets more clear than that. My man broke it down for you real quick in 3 minutes. This is why I was telling a lot of people, you read that redemption manual where it clearly tells you in there that that war that was fought, what was the Revolutionary War, I believe, or something like that. That war that was fought was they lost that shit. And it wasn't because they lost it on the field either. It's because the banks already took control. Once the banks take control and start funding both sides and start giving these debts that you can't pay back, well, look, you can't pay back the debt. So let me go ahead and get that gold and silver off of you. Yank your gold and silver and give you this debt money. Now you enslaved. Now you got an all caps name. Now you got a social security number. All that stuff came after, Confederacy was already deemed as evil. And I used to remember when I used to see things like Lil Jon and Kanye West had that Confederate flag on. I used to think they was crazy. Like, y'all some goofies. But dude, when you really start to do the research, the actual Confederates, you look at some of the pictures of some of the people that were quote unquote Native Americans, is what they call in the technical term, but we know they're basically Aboriginals. But you look at those people, man, a lot of those people were dark skinned and had that Confederate flag. And they had the tribal gear on. So it was like, what's really going on here? You know what I'm saying? What's really good? What's really happening around these parts? So the history has been so convoluted and twisted to fit their narrative, and they just use that narrative of false history in order to push their agenda even further. So they want to keep the people who support the Confederate flag away from the people who claim to be quote unquote black, and they want to keep them from knowing the history. That way, when they look at the Confederate flag, they go the other way because they automatically see it as a symbol of racism. You know what I mean? It puts those seeds in people's heads so that they never go to question, because it's an accepted fact. When you're growing up, you see that Confederate flag, you go the other way. Shit, that's how I was raised. My mother told me, you see a Confederate flag, you whatever way you was going, you go the other way, because obviously you're not supposed to be in that area. And then when you really start to break down that the psyche of how we were raised and stuff like that, you start to see why these seeds were planted. and then it all starts to make sense. Oh, we got chat here. What up, Tony? What's good, man? Good to see you here. What up, Keith? My man Keith with the bars. My man Keith sent me some stuff. I'm gonna show you guys a little later on in the telecast. Brother Dane Calloway was talking about this and others about the Confederate flag is really our ancient flag, and they took it and dirtied it up. They did the same, dude. Listen, yo, they did the same thing with the swastika, bro. They literally did the same thing with the swastika. All of our stuff that we had that was symbolism that we were in control of this land. The swastika was a prime example. Let me see. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm gonna try to show you though. But I actually, when I went to Arizona, I actually saw I went to one of those. I went in a gift shop of like a quote unquote Native American museum, and I actually saw this right here. Can you guys see this? Can you guys see it? Yeah, it comes out clear. All right, so this was actually a tribal. It wasn't a rug, but it was like a garment. It was a tribal garment, and I know about this symbol here because I already knew back in the day. There was something going. You guys know about Pokemon back in the day. I was real heavy into the cards when I was younger. So I think it was the what was it, the fossil pack or something like that. It was the ones that came out in 2001, and they had like another version or whatever, and they had a bunch of new cards that came out. So they had this one card. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you guys. Why am I telling you? I can show you. But it was some controversy surrounding this card. Yeah, here it is right here. See if I can find it. Pull you up a good picture of it. Man, they got a bunch of these damn cards that was banned. I gotta look into that later on to see why that was. But this one was banned because of that logo. Some people complained about the logo. I'm trying to show you guys. God damn, I knocked my light over. Well, I'm still looking for it. Maybe I can just look in. Let me look right here in the. Here it is. Boom! I found it. All right, here it is right here. So I can enlarge it so you guys can see it. Here it is right. All right, boom. I'm gonna show you guys. All right, this is what I'm talking about right here. So these symbols were taken and perverted. So this is kind of far away. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this. I'm gonna try to enlarge it. Hold on. God damn, they're making this thing difficult. All right, this is gonna be the best picture I can get. I tried to find a bigger picture, but I'm gonna try to enlarge it for you guys to see. They even replaced the picture with something else. Okay, so this is the original card that came out in Japan. Here it goes right here. All right, so this card, I think this card was called Koga's Ninja Trick or something like that. I actually had this card, but it didn't have the swastika. So you can see right there if you look in this area there, there's a swastika, but it's faced the other way. It's not faced the same way as the one that's faced that the Klan was using. And we all know the Klan was a psychological operation. We already pretty much covered that a while back. That the Klan was pretty much a majority of a CIA trick to get people to not, to see these symbols and things and look the other way or avoid them at all costs, to not know the history. So when you look at this card right here, you'll see that little symbol. Now, the thing about it is in Japan, that symbol actually means good fortune. That's what that symbol means. It means something completely different of what that symbol means here when people look at it here. So what happened was with this card, some Karen saw the card and she got real pissed off and she basically made a big stink about it. It was on the news. The card got recalled. If you have this original card right now, you got some money on your hands because the card was pulled and destroyed for the most part because they did not want to promote that. And Japan was unclear about exactly what that symbol meant here on this land. So like it had a whole different meaning in Japan. So I talked to the lady about that, the garment I just showed you guys a second ago. And she says I talked to her and she was like, yeah, it doesn't mean the same thing that it means here now. It meant something completely different back in the day. I said, well, I know because I know from for example, in Japan, that actual logo symbolized prosperity and symbolized wellness. But I'm not sure what the natives used it for. I wasn't completely clear about that, but I was well aware that the definition was changed. So then when you really start to think about what the root of everything is, these things all came from the people who came and traded with the natives, or the aboriginals, or or you can call them Moors that came over here to trade with the people. So they brought these things over, and they brought garments, blankets, food, spices, herbs, jewels, all of these things, and they traded with the aboriginals, which was our ancestors here. So when you start to look at things that symbolized from Africa or came from Africa in these different areas, they were traded with these people. So these logos and things meant something different. That's why you see these things all over the place. But then you start to see them in the news and stuff like that, and it means something completely different. And we all know the machine is basically behind perverting all of these symbols and things of that nature. But that was a very interesting piece of information that I had took from that experience of taking that trip, because that showed me that that actual logo was used here on the land. That was crazy to me. The same thing for the Confederate flag. It's the same thing. Is the Redemption Manual an actual book or just a PDF? No, it's a book. It's a book. No, the book is out there. It's by Eden Press. You gotta look up Eden Press Redemption Manual. It's out there. What's going on, Keena? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, Nicole? Good to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. What's going on, Miss Jones? They brainwash us in school to pledge allegiance to their new flag. Well, here's the interesting thing about that. They pretty much indoctrinated us to pledge allegiance to that flag, which is a war flag. You're 100% right. That flag basically indicates that we're in a martial law. The red and white stripes with the blue background with the white stars. That right there is a flag for wartime. The original peace flag is supposed to be white and red stripes, white background, and blue stars. And we actually had somebody on here that had that in their background. I might do that eventually. But let me show you what I'm talking about. That's another thing. That's another thing they don't teach you. You can get these on, I think this is eBay. Nah, this is fastflags.com. You can get a full size 3 by 5 foot flag for $49.99. And plus whatever the shipping is off of fastflags.com, looks like. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this flag they had us pledging allegiance to when we were in I think the last time we did that was in middle school, elementary school or something. I honestly don't even remember anymore because it was such a long time ago, but I know they stopped it at one point. But yeah, this is the flag right here. This is supposed to be the flag for peacetime. So the reason you don't see that flag is because every year president has to re-sign a document basically placing us under martial law. That's why this flag's not used. It's supposed to be, and you see how the stripes are going the other direction, right? So the flag you see now is basically a military flag, pretty much. It's a war flag. All right, that's the peacetime flag right there. This is the one we're supposed to be flying if it's a time of peace. But you can tell by how these tribunals go and these military jurisdiction courts, how they have the gold fringe around their flag, that's not what time they on. As long as you got the military operating in the area, it ain't no goddamn peace. That shit is under military siege. And it's these are the symbols we've grown to accept growing up. We saw all this growing up, the flag, and we saw the gold fringe, uh the police getting militarized, getting riot gear and big ass AR-15s and shotties and stuff like that. In the early 90s, these mofos, all they had was a goddamn revolver. They didn't even have a Glock semi-automatic. They had a revolver pistol. Then there was something that happened in California where I'm not sure about if this was a psyop or not, because I never looked into it, but there was some armed robbers who went into a bank with full body armor. I think it was three of them, and they went in like they had literally juggernaut gear on, and they had big ass arms, like fully auto machine guns, and they were shooting the shit out of every goddamn cop they saw. There was a big shootout, so the police officers actually had to break into the nearest gun shop because they were so heavily unarmed. or so heavily lightly armed pretty much to stop these mofos. They had snipers shooting these mofos, but their gear was like top of the line. So you really literally had these dudes walking around wreaking havoc, which is hard to believe to me, but because if you look at what happened afterwards, it makes sense as to why this happened. So you had that occur. So these police officers had to break into this nearest gun shop near the bank. When they broke into the gun shop, they took all that shit. You know how they do. They took everything and probably sent them less than everything was worth later on. So they went ahead and did that. Boom, stopped the threat. And then they passed this law with police are militarized. So now police got AR-15s in their trunk, shotguns, and all that shit. They got militarized, bro. That's basically what it was all about. So yeah, that's why you see that wartime flag because they're at war with U.S. citizens, pretty much. You can look at the Trading with the Enemy Act. They're at war with U.S. citizens, and that's what happened. Yes, sir, Carl. They made up all this history in the 1800s. All of it. Yep, 100%. Dude, I was asking people about this show I actually saw today. It was called The Orville. This came out in 2017. It's just amazing it slipped under my radar for so long. Yo, it was a show that was very interesting. It reminds me of a crossover between Star Trek, what was it? Star Trek, Stargate, Battlestar Galactica, uh Star Wars. It had like a bunch of elements where these dudes are basically in a ship and they got a crew, and these dudes travel around in space and pretty much carry out these missions for their federation. It was a lot like Mass Effect. And yo, they had this episode number 4 was the one that will always stick with me the rest of the time I'm here on this goddamn earth. The rest of the time I'm here, episode 4 will stick with me. I actually watched it today. So you had a situation where you had these people just going through this galaxy, helping people out and stuff like that. So they come across this ship that's just floating through space. It's a ginormous ship, like 80,000 times bigger than the one they had. So the interesting thing about it was they came aboard this ship because they figured it was a SOS and it might have needed help because it was just floating. Wasn't no thrusters on the ship. So they entered the ship, and when they entered the ship, they looked around and it was a giant field. Like they walked in the door through the mountains, and it was nothing but like the sky was on the top. It looked like when you look outside, it was a giant sky. It was trees everywhere. It was with grass all over the place, marsh, grass, it was everywhere, mountains, all that stuff. And it was like, yo, this ship is crazy. This is much better than our ship. Our ship is tiny compared to this. It's got to be the biggest ship we ever seen. So they get to walking around, and keep in mind they're in a rural area. So they stumble across a cabin. So they knock on the cabin door, and then this lady answers the door, and she shuts the door immediately. And this guy comes out with a shotgun, like a hit. He had a shotty, so he tried to shoot one of the damn. It was like 5 of them. One of the damn guys that came out, and they ended up tasing his ass. So they started asking the people questions, and they were like, asking them how long they've been here, and it was like, yeah, we've been here, such. And they thought he was talking about where they were at in terms of on the. They didn't even know they were on a ship. Like they had no idea, and it was like, yo, these people don't even know they're on the ship. He's like, well, how is this possible? So they get to talking with these other people, and there was a corrupt regime there that basically had the people doing whatever they told them to do. And these people were like the people who knew it was a ship, but they knew the people weren't allowed to know it was a ship. Otherwise, they would lose their control. They were fully aware that the ship thrusters burnt out, but they decided to go ahead and just live in the ship and just carry out their lives in control in this ship. And they didn't want the people to know because if there was a situation where they knew they would lose their power. So they were like, if the ship's just been drifting along, such and such. We were waiting for people to come help us, but then we realized if people come help us, we're gonna lose our position in society. So, dude, it was crazy. The whole entire planet didn't know they were on a goddamn ship the whole time. It was a giant ship that was like a. It was literally like Earth. They had cities, cars, buses, buildings. People were going to work. They didn't even know they were on a ship. And dude, this is the crazy thing. The whole history was pretty much 3 generations. So, all right, they when they left from their original planet, they had to create a ship that had a habitat just like the planet they came from, so the people could survive. And the people who left the voyage, they realized that there would be 3 generations, which is almost close to 300 years for the ship to be able to reach the other destination. So they said, look, we'll just go ahead and keep the ship going, and we'll just keep everybody knows they're on the ship, but everybody's going about their business. Everything's good. Nobody's working, none of that. But then when the ship thrusters burnt out, the people that realized it, and there was a control panel and all that stuff in the mountain. It was a giant control room for the ship. It was mind blowing. So they went ahead and and talked to the people that was in charge. And they was like, "Yeah, we realized when the thrusters burned out, pretty much that this was it. So we kept the information from all the other people that were pretty much born and didn't tell them that we were on the ship because we didn't want them to start panicking. We didn't want chaos to ensue because if people realized this, it would be a shock for them. Dude, that shit blew me away. That blew me away when I saw that show. It blew me away completely. I would highly recommend watching. It's called The Orville, and the episode I'm referencing is episode 4. It was crazy, and it just makes you wonder. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, what's to say that same situation ain't the same situation we in now? You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? That blew my mind away though. I had that particular flag of civil peacetime. Like, yes, indeed. Yeah, I plan on getting one of those. They denied that civil flag exists. Yeah, you know how it goes. You know how it goes, man. They can't tell you because then if they denied it, if they admit it exists, and if a peacetime flag exists, the obvious next question would be, well, why aren't we using a peacetime flag if we're in peace? You see what I'm saying? Why aren't we using a peacetime flag if this is a moment of peace? Then they got to answer, why are we in a moment of peace? Wait a minute, you mean to tell me we're at war right now? Wait a minute, who we at war with? The questions keep coming. So what they do is they nip it in the bud by just denying the existence. So they ain't got to keep answering the chain of questions. Same thing the people did with that shit on that show. What's going on, man? I'm gonna just call you Chris because I don't want to mess your name up. Beanie Chris, is that what's going on, champ? New Orleans, what's up? What's good with you? For the flag, the gold fringes are defined and the Army manual is falling under the purview of executive only. So you can see the evidence of military dictatorship and display everywhere you see one. Yeah, they're everywhere, man. Even in TV shows, bro. Even in TV shows. Same thing. Even schools, any public government controlled building, you're gonna see the maritime jurisdiction flag. Yeah, I just saw a video about that heist. Heist? I'm lost. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm talking too fast. Oh, you're talking about the California joint. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I don't know, man. That looking at the effect of what happened afterwards, how police were militarized immediately after that, I'm not sure that shit was real. That shit might have been a staged event just to get police in place with that riot gear and stuff. You know what I mean? All part of the agenda. I mean, I started with the 4-5 cash, so I mean, you could start there. I started with the 4-5. Some people have the 5-0, but the 4-5 and the 5-0 are not the same. I think the 5-0 is more in depth. It also costs $300. I think it's expensive. Season 1 of Orville. Yep, season 1. I just started on it. I'm literally on episode 6. I couldn't stop watching the show. Very interesting show, man. They had a issue on there about gender, where one of the babies, it was an alien baby, and it was born uh, um a woman, a girl. I'm sorry, and then the race of alien only, like, there was a 99.9% chance you were born a male in that alien race, and to be born a female is like a negative thing. So they had a big thing about that. Dude, it was some good content. I was blown away by how good that show was and how I never heard of it. Yes, sir. Gotta watch that, Lamar. Good to see you here, man. Gotta watch that. Go check it out, dude. I'm telling you, that shit is mind blowing, bro. When I see stuff like that, I just keep an eye at on all the symbolism, and just watch and compare that to your reality. Because again, we all already know they got to show you what they're gonna do before they do it or while they're doing it. They got to put you on point. If you don't get it while they're telling you, or if you think it's just a movie, or if you think it's just a show while they're showing you, that's not on them because they already told you what time they was on. So you know. And I always said, Joe, this planet don't seem like it's just like a flat plane. That never really made complete sense to me. It always kind of seemed like either a simulation or b a room of some sort. You know what I'm saying? Like a room that was basically put together, and whatever's going on could be a part of the program. Not a danger room is and shit like that. Just a theoretically putting it out there, no doubt. They cause the chaos to create a so-called acceptable order. Right, right, right. Well, they're on top. They were always put into the public in movies and TV that which is going on in the dark. They always do that, Wolf. They got to, man. They got to. They have to, bro. I think it's part of whatever ritual they do or whatever. It's deception. That's all it is. And then we know for a fact that CIA actually has a department in Hollywood. The CIA literally has a department in Hollywood, man. So a lot of things you see, may or may not be real. If you see it, don't protest it, and you agree. If you see it and don't protest it, then you agree to it. And as you think and see, shall you create for yourself or them, though. Facts. We are all owned and controlled by private companies and not government. Yeah, 100%. They all got Dun and Bradstreet numbers. So yeah, we know for a fact they're not. They're not. They're not. These aren't governments, man. These are corporations. Oh shit! Knock something over. Yo, everybody keeps talking about Westworld, man. I gotta fuck with the Westworld, man. Like, I gotta watch West. That's like the third time I done had somebody on this channel tell me about Westworld. I'm gonna have to watch that. I keep forgetting to watch it. They said we're all adult ages. Wouldn't that be some shit? Like, how crazy would that be if that was the case? Like, yo, this entire what you call a planet is literally just an empty room with the ability for you to manipulate it with your thoughts by the majority. And the reason you're seeing shit happen is because you think it's gonna happen. That would be the craziest. Like, yo, we're doing. So you mean to tell me we doing this to ourselves? Like, yo, really? That's insane, man. That's crazy. It's part of the magic Hollywood have. Like you said, they have to tell us we see it, and that's how they manifest it. Yep. That is a possibility, man. I can't say it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, that's a mind fuck right there. When you start thinking about that. All right, let's move on, shall we? All right, what we got next? Take a look at this. I actually stumped. This is a short video. I thought this was kind of cool, but I very easily see how this can be used for the wrong thing. I did not know this was even a thing. I know they were planning on doing something like this, but I thought the idea got scrapped. But take a look at this right here.
Oh crap.
All right, for those of you who couldn't see it, if it was too small, that is a Walmart drone delivery. I'm gonna play it again so you guys can look at this.
Oh crap.
All right, so Walmart has stepped that game all the way up, and they're now using drone delivery. So now I've even heard that you can get your packages the same. If you order something, you can get it with drone delivery within like 3 hours. I heard the drone delivery is expensive, but yo, the way that drone hit that package hit the ground, bro, do not order a PS5 from them like that. Don't do it because you will need another PS5. You know what I mean? All right, then y'all was talking. Hold on, let me get back in there. Hold on. LL 6, you just broke the seventh wall, bro. A little you said that. Sounds like purgatory. Last episode of the law. So y'all, dude, listen, yo, what? Yo, what, yo? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Like literally, we're doing all this to ourselves. Like, yo, the reason, the corporations and shit are doing us the way they're doing us is because we saw this to happen. Like, yo, huh? I don't know about y'all, but I'm not thinking this into existence. All right, god damn it. So look at the man next to you and ask him, "What you thinking about, man? What you thinking about? Change your thoughts, man. You fucking it up for everybody else." Remember, they told us in the last Matrix movie, the pain and stress we're in, the more energy we create. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. That's a lot of times why I say like the news and stuff like that try to stir you up with things like the monkeypox and shit like the C19 and all that other stupid shit. Basically for the same reason that getting you to trigger to expound energy, and they had the magic that they do or whatever voodoo, not even necessarily if I say voodoo, whatever magic or dark magic they use, it feeds off of energy. So if you're in distress or something like that, or if you're worried or something like that, it feeds the energy. Should they do the Bohemian Grove meet? They still do Bohemian Grove meet. I think they moved. I don't think they're over there no more. Ever since Alex Jones, or if that was even that, probably wasn't even Alex Jones. But if that whoever took footage of that goddamn ceremony they were doing over there in Bohemian Grove, and that shit got leaked, I think they moved the location. But I heard that owl is still over there though. And you know what's crazy about that? The crazy thing is, the police were actually guarding that area, and if you tried to go near it, you got locked up. Yeah, so the state was in on that shit too. Yep, the luge. Exactly, Prof. Man. Yes, indeed. They tell you in the movies. I worked at Walmart Convention of New Technology several months ago. They're planning not to have any employees. Yeah, yeah, that's coming, man. We talked about that. Hey, look, if you want to protest this whole thing with these going to the supermarket and stuff like that and having to ring yourself up, I'm not down with that. Because first off, if I gotta ring myself up, you need to pay me for my services. All right. If I gotta go to the cash register, I gotta punch buttons, I gotta scan items, and I gotta accept payment into a machine and get my own change and put it in my pocket. Y'all need to pay me. And my fee is whatever my shit costs. So you need to give me my shit for free. Whatever the hell it is. At that point, you might even owe me because my fee is expensive. Fuck that, man. You ain't gonna have me in there ringing myself up and all that, and then charge me more for like less groceries, because we all know the food then shrank ever since the damn recession of 2008. The food then got smaller. It's crappy food. Yes, it is trash food, but the fact still remains that charging you more for less junk. You should be junk anyway. But fact of the matter is, that's the way I see it. So to protest that, man, I say, look, when I go to like rural farms, or some of you guys might have other gas stations, different places where you live, sheets, all that other stuff. We got rural farms here. So when I go to a rural farms and they got a bunch of they got the sheep standing in line to use the register to ring themselves up, man, I just stand all the way to the far right. It's never a line because nobody ever thinks to go over to the far right. I go right over to the far right, and they come right over to me. I ain't got to be in that bad boy for less than 5 minutes. Meanwhile, it's like 30 people in line waiting to ring themselves up, not even opening their eyes to look that there's a different method of exchange you can use to the far right or left hand side, which is still a cash register. So people are pretty much being herded. That's all it is. Sheep being herded. But yeah, that's what's going to eventually happen, and people don't even know that they're actually encouraging this to happen by using these machines. You keep using the machines, shit. What the hell they need to pay any humans for anymore? They can just use machines. Machines would be less money because if they raise that fight for $15 an hour, which they've been trying to do for the longest time, if they finally push that through in every state, then look, it's going to be cheaper to just have a machine that you got to maintain twice a year, maybe a little more than that, than paying somebody $15 an hour to take money and just ring somebody up. You know what I mean? That's how they see it. And then the damn dollar's losing value anyway. That's a whole nother thing. Whole game, man. Reminds me of the Hunger Games. That Walmart drone footage is for the higher class rich people to get their groceries while savages roam the streets. Yeah, I remember I was talking to this one dude. He was like, yo, if I ever see a Walmart drone, I'm going to knock it out of the sky and then I'm going to have a drone. I said, let me explain something to you, homeboy. If you think you're going to be able to take a Walmart drone, first off, the fact that they got drone technology, you're not going to take a drone from Walmart. Absolutely not. That's just as stupid as the people who used to steal them PlayStation 5s and 4s when they came out. Remember when they used to hit the trucks and dudes used to boost them joints off the trucks and sell them on the street, and then you get caught with a stolen, you try to get online with a stolen PS4 with a serial number gets flagged, and them goddamn FBI's at your house, and you're like, yeah, I bought it from some other dude. You ain't got a receipt. So now you basically guilty of stolen merchandise. That's how it goes. It's 100%. Fearless, Walmart barely have staff working now. Yeah, yeah, it's always understaffed now. And shit, even before all this stuff happened, dude, they literally had probably about like they would have 15 different aisles before the self checkout even came along. They had 14 or 15 different aisles, and they probably had maybe 5 people working the aisles. They had all these aisles not even occupied to check people out. Like, dude, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Y'all got all these goddamn machines to ring people up, and y'all got 5 employees working here. Like, what's really going on? No, Moloch the Owl. Yes, indeed, that is Moloch the Owl. The fearless Floyd up in here. I see what it is. So what's good, Healing Goddess? Thank you so much for joining in. Fearless Floyd, fixed wing drones, 6 prop drones, self-delivering custom vehicles. Yo, I heard about the self-delivering, self-driving vehicles, self-driving vans, robots to stock shelves, custom cut boxes, and pack the boxes for delivery. Yeah, man, it's not dude. It's not a game out here, yo. The infrastructure is slowly being built. Slowly. It's being built. It's being built. The van has suicide doors with no driver compartment. Damn, that's crazy. I haven't seen that yet, like with my own eyes. No health care for the machines and other benefits. They've been cut health care out for the they basically extended part-time and full-time hours. So they've been got rid of health care for the humans that was working there. It's if you look at it, it was all the process, man. It was just slowly being rolled out in stages. That's all it really was. Around here, they will have 1 or 2 man registers, 8 to 12 self-serve registers. The wait in those 2 lines is tremendous, or the 8 to 12 is fast. Yeah, that's how they do it. And eventually, it's going to be one. I'm gonna tell you a hack, though. You want to know a hack? I'm gonna tell you a hack. All right, no, this the A6 hack right here. Oh, I use this hack. Right. All right, so check it out. Keep this quiet. Don't tell nobody. Right. What you do is you go get all your shit. Right. You go in back where the electronics section is, all the way in the back of the store. At these department stores, they got something called the electronics section, right? You go to the electronics section, you pay for all your shit right there. 1 or 2 people in line, minimal. Or excuse me, maximum. 1 or 2 people in line. If it's holiday season, you might have 4 people in line ahead of you, maybe 5. But yo, you go back to the electronics section, anything you buy in that store, you can pay for in the electronics section. Facts. Don't tell nobody I told you that. It's gonna speed your time up. Cut your time in half. And he says, "What can you tell me about Public Law 7310 and other consumer exemption?" We can get to that. We're gonna get to that a little later, guys. If you're here later, we can chop that up. What do you think is going to be like 5-10 years? I think, dude, honestly, man, the way people are just going for that shit, bro, it's gonna be computers basically doing a majority of things. There's gonna be ways around it because there's ways around everything, honestly. Let's be honest. There's literally ways around everything. It's just the old ways. The same thing about when we were talking about instruments being a national opposed to being a U.S. citizen. All of this stuff is old shit. Secure party's been around since I heard the 60s, I think. This is all old ways of doing things that basically get lost in translation because the people get acclimated to doing things one way. The same reason why when we go in those gas stations, we see everybody standing in line to self-checkout and there's nobody in line for the register. It's the old way of doing things. So people have adapted easy. And let's be real, if we've seen anything from 2020, we see that people are easily moldable to do exactly what the fuck they want them to do. Very rarely do they think outside the box. They're sheep. They get herded. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way it goes. But yeah, I see it being the computer's doing a lot of things, but there's still going to be, outliers like us. We're still going to be figuring out ways to do shit without having to engage in any of that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even for people with the social security numbers, dude. Like you don't. A lot of people don't even know you don't even have to have a social security number. You go in a bank and you tell somebody you don't have a social and you want to open a bank account. They like, why don't you have a social? That's the first thing they say. You ain't gotta have a social. Facts. So old tech for the private corp sector. Yeah, the technology, let's be honest, Wolf, the technology is old as hell. They probably had all this technology we're seeing being put into the public, these machines stocking shelves, these drones and all that shit, dude. This stuff is probably like from the 70s or 60s. This stuff's probably old as hell. Dude, I remember there was a robot. Anybody who was in the chat right now who remembers this robot. I don't remember what the robot was called, but there was a robot that came out in the late 80s, I think, and it could actually literally go in the kitchen and get you a glass of water and bring it back. I can't remember what this robot was called, but I remember we went over to this lady's house and she had one, and I thought the shit was weird. I'm like, how can you tell a robot to go in your kitchen and get water? What? How the hell does it know where stuff is in your house? You know what I mean? So it's like, what? Like, how the hell is that technology being put out now for the mass when it already existed back then, but it was rare? You know what I'm saying? And then you get into the conversation. Well, if that technology existed back then, why was it being held for? Why wasn't it mass produced sooner? You know, things that make you go, hmm. You see Dubai Utopian City. Yeah, we talked about that. They're planning for the next few years. We talked about the electric city last week, Splain. We talked about that last week. Yeah, yeah. The electric cities are gonna be a real thing. Go watch Demolition Man, the one that came out in 1994. Go watch Demolition Man. It's gonna show you exactly how that dystopian society goes when that electric city gets pulled into full effect. Yeah, it's gonna seem nice at first, but when they start divvying people up by class, because they told you if you live on it, they clearly said if you live on the top floor, there's no need to go to the bottom floor because everything's on the top floor. Guess who's gonna be at the top floor? The rich people. Guess who's gonna be on the middle floor? The middle class people. And guess where they're gonna have to go in order to get to the middle floor? Through the ground. And the poor people are gonna be on the ground. So you're gonna have the middle class got to go through and ride through the city on the ground. They can't even ride in the air because only the rich people can afford all the shit that flies. You're gonna have the people who are middle class riding through where the poor people are and jeopardize themselves getting robbed and mugged, beat up, and all that shit, shot and stabbed, dealing with the poor people or what have you. And the poor people are going to be shit out of luck pretty much because they're on the bottom of the totem pole. So that's what you're going to have. It's going to basically just be two classes. It's going to be the rich on the top levels, and it's going to be the poor on the middle and bottom levels. But let's be honest, you can't be middle class and still be amongst the poor. They're going to rob the fuck out of you. They're going to see you as a lunch ticket. That's what it's like. They already said that shit on. They was like, yeah, it's going to be, if everything's pretty much going to be in the top. There's no need to go to the bottom floor or any other floors. Everything's going to be in the top floor if you need it. That told me everything I wanted to know right there. I mean, besides, if stuff was on the top floor, who's gonna elect to move to the bottom? Everybody knows the closer you move for the more convenience, there's always more money. That's why houses that are near the beach are always more money. That's why any strip that's near any body of water is always going to be at least 2 times to 3 times more expensive than a piece of land that's not anywhere near water at all. That's why. Convenience. Walmart has everything ready to go. The ironic thing was that the convention was there for their star employees. I'm like, this is all the showcase to take your job. Yep. And them dumbasses that was probably worried, it's gonna make my job easier. Yeah, man. I ain't gotta lift heavy ass boxes no more. Guess what? Yeah, you got that right. You ain't gotta lift heavy ass boxes no more. Permanently, motherfucker. Oh man. And Amazon just bought iRobot. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on the stock market. I mean, the iRobot app. I think they had a jump, didn't they? I think their stock might have jumped. Because I know I was looking to invest in the iRobot a while back. Take a look here. Oh, you know what? I'm tripping, yo. I am tripping. Dude, I am tripping. There we go. That's my banner at the bottom. If y'all want to donate to the Cash App, send $1 or $2 to that Cash App name right there. Let me see here. I think that stock might have jumped. Yeah, iRobot is right here. Yeah. Yep. That stock jumped. That stock went from Friday at 3:57 p.m. It was at $59 and it jumped. It was at 59.52 and it jumped to 59.71. And that little bit of change don't seem like much for somebody who ain't investing a lot. But if you got like 10 grand investing on that little 20 cents, that little 20 cents is a little payout right there. So yeah, there's that. Where we at? I'll be here. All right, no doubt, no doubt. So a documentary on the Amish and how they don't use a passport to travel the world or visa. Is that possible? Also, none of the girls back this up. What? None of the girls backed this up who got an A+ credit on this type stuff. I did not know about the Amish traveling the world without a visa, but I do know this: the Amish do not like to use technology, so a plane would be out of the question. I'm gonna ask y'all something though, man. We shared this about 3 4 weeks ago on this channel, and what's up with that? What happened with that Amish dude whose farm got taken by the FBI or something like that? I think they ran up on him and took his farm, basically saying that he wouldn't conform to their laws or something like that. But this dude was Amish, and as far as I know, they don't have jurisdiction over the Amish because the Amish don't take benefits and privileges. So how the hell can you tell them you can seize their farm? You know what I mean? And in the conclusion we basically draw was somebody must have had their hand somewhere it didn't belong. And then somebody else said it was from Federal Reserve notes too. If they were trading Federal Reserve notes, that could have been a way they got jurisdiction. Or they could just be trying them. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, I never read that documentary, so I'm familiar with how they would do something like that. That's a typo. Supposedly one of the gurus, one of the masters that study the information. Oh yeah, yeah. There's lots of ways to to get great credit if you know what you're doing. There's lots of ways to do that. I need to move everything. I need to move. Everything is telling me move to a country with an abundance of food growing. Dude, I'm on the same path, bro. Like, yo, the goal is to get out of this place, man. That's the goal. Get out of Babylon. The goal is to get out of Babylon and get to Zion, right? That's what it is. It's to get the hell out of there, man. So yeah, I'm on the same tip, bro. I be thinking about every day, like, yo, I literally could be on a beach somewhere with mangoes growing on a tree. I can pull down a mango and just eat that shit. You know what I mean? I can literally just walk around on the beach with just my boxes or my shorts or whatever on in the sun, relaxing all day. You know, running in the beach, trying to build muscle and stuff like that, keeping myself healthy, not have to worry about any of this shit. This is a fact, and this is honestly, if you ask me, that's the true habitat of how we should be living. Really, a lot of these illnesses and sicknesses we get, man, it's from the foods we eat, the air we breathe, man. It's just contaminated. Even your deodorant, your stuff you put on your body, crap is bad for you, man. You think quantum part syntax grammar is the key to all these fraud legalese? I've heard quantum syntax is very powerful, but I'll be completely honest with you. I started to get into it, but I got sidetracked. So I think around the time somebody sent me information for that, which was like maybe 5 months ago, I started to get into trusts and wills and stuff like that. So I got sidetracked. But I've heard that it's very powerful and the courts haven't been able to find a way around it yet. Yeah. Zakiba, what's up, man? We live. Yes, indeed. We live. Good to have you here, Zakiba. I think you're talking about Honda bot. Bob. Yeah, is that what it was? It was a Honda bot. Yeah, okay. I think it was a Honda bot. But this shit came out like 1988, 1989. I only saw one of them. I heard about them from my friends because I know one of the kids at my school, he had money. So his parents was like, they used to buy him all kinds of new high-tech stuff. So he was like, yeah, I got this robot. It goes to the kitchen and gives me water or drink or whatever I want. And it'll bring it back to me. I ain't believe him though, because kids lie about stuff up like that all the time. But yo, lo and behold, I went down the road and one of my mom's friends definitely had one in the house. The shit wasn't working though. It was like the battery was out of it or whatever, but she had that joint. I was like, so you mean to tell me that robot right there will go to the kitchen and get you water? How? What? That didn't make sense to me. And keep in mind, back then, we still had transformers you had to configure and put them back together. Yeah. What up? What up, Mark? What's good, man? The pyramids on the limestone all over the world was used like Wi-Fi. Yep, they used to have gold caps. Somebody else said they had silver caps and they had some other crystal on them too. I can't remember what crystal it was. But yeah, the crystal can actually be converted into energy if used the right way. Um, that's why the cities that were built, excuse me, that's why the cities that were built in Cairo actually look like a computer circuit. If you look overhead at some of the cities in Cairo, they were built like a computer circuit board. And the reason for that was because they realized that formula worked and there was no reason to change it. But they used to have gold caps on top of the pyramids. But yeah, I still contest, man, if those gold caps were replaced on those pyramids, I think they would work just the way they used to work back in the day and power the whole city. They used to have street lights and all that stuff in Egypt, man. A lot of people didn't know that. This is way before Rome ever existed. There were street lights in Egypt. The news media keeps saying that there's a drought when there are devices that can turn air into drinking. Man, listen, bro. Let me tell you something. And we talk about this a lot. So if you new here, grab your pen and paper. That drought shit is cap. 100,000%, 110,000%, whatever. But yo, listen, that drought stuff is cap. You can go to findaspring.com, right? And find a spring right near you of water that comes out of the underground caverns, stalactites and things like that. The ice melts and it turns into fresh drinking water, which is filtered by rocks. You can drink water straight from the earth. I get it every Sunday, sir. I get it every Sunday. Every Sunday, I'm refilling my bottles, going to get some fresh spring water. That's all I drink. As I keep right here in this can right here, it's fresh drinking water. Hmm. But listen, man, it's deeper than that though, because plastic, the water that goes through a process that everybody's drinking from these bottles, man, that water is pretty much dead. It's not alive. It contains the memory because water holds memory, as we know about from the Japanese test they had done with the freezing of water, and they noticed when they wrote different labels on water and they froze it, it froze in certain design patterns, and they did it multiple times to see if it was a fluke. But if they wrote like hatred and stuff like that on the outside of a bottle, the pattern froze differently from the energy of the words than they froze with love, compassion, spirit, and stuff like that. The design was different to how the ice flakes actually froze. So, which is why when I tell you guys water holds memory, if you're drinking water from the earth, you're literally absorbing the earth's memory, which is going to give you a lot of knowledge and ability to understand certain things you might not understand if you're not eating or drinking the right things. Now, keep in mind, I still like to like dabble. I might have a drink here and there of other stuff like that, but moderation is the key. Yes, it also included a gold missile. Yeah, I actually read that the most conductive for electricity is silver, which I thought was very interesting. I thought it was gold was the most conductive. That same thing for energy too, because like yo, when you messing with crystals and stuff like that, that's still energy. Still energy. So when you have a chain on or something, you want to rock like a silver chain. Another good one is copper is a good conductor too. Gold's a good conductor, but gold's expensive. So copper and silver is probably going to be your go-tos. What up, MD? Peace, 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 peace. Thirst for truth. Savages to roam on the streets on the bottom. Yep. Can't say it no plainer than that. The Amish can use tech, but they cannot own it. Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know that. I thought they had to not use it at all. I got a deposit for our own internet private. We can start with Starlink. You got to have a bat cave. The public is Bruce Wayne. The private is Batman. Yeah. Talking my language now. He said the public is Bruce Wayne. The private is Batman. Yo. If you don't know the difference between public and private, I don't think I can say it any better than Michael just put it. There you go. That's a Don DeMarco right there. If I had a sound effect, I would press it right now. Yeah, our technology now is way behind because it's commercialized. Yep. Droughts usually refer to surface waters like lakes, reservoirs, not springs and aquifers. Exactly, which is more bullshit because listen to this. Lakes and springs and stuff like that, that water has to be filtered. You know what I'm saying? The water you're supposed to be drinking, really, if you want to get technical, is going to be the spring water. But lakes and reservoirs has to be filtered. Springs and aquifers, they don't. It's filtered by the rocks. It's a natural earth process of filtration. But they'll never tell you that. They will never tell you about springs that you can drink out of because that doesn't fit the narrative. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Good to have you here, Lamar. No doubt. All right, let's continue, shall we? Let's continue. We can talk all day. Get this out of the way. All right, so we're gonna talk. A few people hit me up like, "Yo, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts?" I said, "Y'all, I'm gonna talk about this Sunday. Y'all know what I'm about to talk about. All right, let's talk about this right here. The IRS faces online uproar over special agent job posting requiring ability to use deadly force if necessary. IRS job posting said agents must be willing to carry a firearm and use deadly force if necessary. An online job posting for special agents within law enforcement branch of the Internal Revenue Service is causing a stir on social media as Congress prepares to pass a spending bill that would greatly expand the federal agency. A link to a job posting for criminal investigation special agents appeared to have been briefly deleted on Wednesday following an online criticism of the posting's language, though it reappeared back online after a Fox Business inquiry to the agency. A key requirement for applicants is that they have to be legally allowed to carry a firearm, and major duties include carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. Be willing to and able to participate in arrests, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments include according to the job posting. The requirement that agents be willing to use deadly force if necessary drew heated criticism online, although the same language appears in job postings for other law enforcement agencies such as the FBI. Don't try to throw that in there real quick. Like people are crazy for asking why the fuck does an IRS agent need to use deadly force? It is not the same thing as the FBI. It is not the same thing as the police. It is not the same thing as the CIA, any Secret Service, any of that stuff at all. And to apply one way of thinking to this particular one is disingenuous, in my opinion. The IRS criminal investigation special agent job announcement continues to be open on USA jobs and was not taken down. USA jobs is where these positions are posted and where applicants are referred in order to apply, an IRS spokesman told Fox Business. The announcement has been open since February 2022 and continues through December 31st, 2022. The uproar over the post coincided with the criticism of proposed expansion of the IRS under the Inflation Reduction Act, which includes $80 billion boost to the IRS over a 10-year period, with more than half intended to help the agency crack down on tax evasion. All right, so your thoughts on this particular thing here. Your thoughts. I'm interested to hear what the people have to say on this one because this is very interesting. All right. Very interesting. Now, we already know what time they on with the US citizen thing. We know about that. But, dude, my question is this a scare tactic or shit about to get real? That's my question. Is shit about to get real for these US citizens out here screwing around? The only question I got for you guys. Because I kind of see it as this. The IRS probably lost the majority of their employees. I'm gonna say the government in general after the pandemic happened. A lot of people went ahead and just said, man, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna go ahead and retire. I did not anticipate any of this crap happening. Let me go ahead and retire. Let me go ahead and just get the fuck up out of here because I did not sign up for this. A lot of those people that was just going to retire soon probably went ahead and put in their papers early. You know what I'm saying? Or, was going to wait until like 5 years after they were supposed to retire. And they said, you know what? Nope, let me go ahead and just retire now. You probably had a bunch of people that refused to get poked. They're probably understaffed heavily. We already heard the understaffed this IRS was severely understaffed. So my question is this going to be a situation where they're giving a boost to the IRS in order to get those employees they lost back, or are they gearing up for some heavy body shit? That's my question to you guys. Helping Hands Garda says that's why they want to take our weapons. That's one of the reasons they want it, but they can't take your weapons. Let's be honest. People got to give them up. It's not going to be that simple. In order to lose a right, you have to forfeit that right. You gotta forfeit it. They can't just come take them. They know this. That's why they're pulling at your heartstrings with these psychological operations, this, that, and the third. But yeah, it's a little more complex than that, though. I think there's multiple reasons. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's part of it. Definitely part of it. And actually, the IRS actually purchased. I think they said they purchased. What was this in January or February? Maybe it was a little later than that. But they said they purchased some ridiculous amount of ammunition from different websites. So it was like, yo, what are y'all gearing up for? Well, I think this is what they're gearing up for. I was under the impression that the IRS agents would need for anyone Or need for, hold on, let me read this a little closer. Move this out the way. Hold on. Too small. There we go. I was under the impression that the IRS agents would need, for example, a police officer in order to get in contact with anyone. Yeah, that's what I was under the assumption as, but it sounds like they're basically trying to be police themselves. That's very interesting. They did say they were buying up all ammo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Yeah, you gotta keep your ear to the streets because stuff like this happens in whispers. Like they'll never talk about it on the news, but like if you follow some of these channels that keep up with stuff like that about I think Guns and Gadgets is a good one. I follow Jared over at Guns and Gadgets. He's pretty good. Like he was talking about the IRS was buying up a hella ammo. Like, yo, why the fuck is the IRS buying up hella ammo? That don't make any sense at all. But then when you look at the job description, talking about participating in warrants, executing this, that, and the third, like what? U.S. citizens in for a real shock. That's all I know. Hmm. Yes, indeed. So I tell y'all, man, y'all better get your knowledge on that trust up if y'all want to move and be in the private. Facts. Let's move on, shall we? All right. So this was sent to me by one of my subscribers, and he sends me some fire. So this happens to be another channel I'm just listening to here. I haven't watched this video yet, so I'll probably watch a few minutes of it and get your opinion and keep it moving. But if you want to, watch this video, you can actually go watch it on your spare time. But this is supposed to be about an extinction level event underway.
All my galactic mothers and brothers out here.
Oh, by the
I
way,
value you. I appreciate you. I see you.
this channel, by the way, is Kali Ma'at Amun Ra. Kali Ma'at Amun Ra.
I need you. I need you. Now, listen to me. I'm gonna play a few videos. The first images that I'm gonna play for you, I'm gonna share with you. I want you to be able to sit down and relax because this is going to be a show. This is an extinction level event that we are in the middle of, and it cannot be stopped. This is an extinction level event. You must have the blood of the sun and the consciousness of the universe, of the multiverse, in order for you to move forward in what we call the great awakening for very few, but the age of apocalypse for many. So sit back, relax, enjoy. Here we go. First imagery right here. I need you to look at this very carefully. UV index to the left, 0 to 2, no danger to the average person. 3 to 5, this is UV index. This is the intensity of the cosmic rays that are coming from the sun. This is UVA and UVB. This ain't even got nothing to do with UVC radiation, which is a detoxifier, a germ killer, a mutating wavelength. It alters or changes your DNA. And once the alteration or changes take place, they are irreversible. Irreversible. So now you've watched plenty of my videos, and I have showed you the red star and the blue star is in the sky. Our sky has completely changed. When the sun's setting and the sun is rising, you see red and purple. At night, you can even see red and purple skies at night. So now let's just go down here. Let's go to the red and purple because clearly this is where we're at right now. Now, very high risk of harm from unprotected sun exposure. Wear a hat and sunglasses. Use SPF 30 plus sunscreen. Cover the body with clothing. Avoid the sun if possible. 20 minutes exposure to sunburn time. 20 minutes exposure until you start the molecules in your body start to develop what you will call cancer cells, because the burning starts. The burning comes after the cancer cells, to be truthful and honest with you. This is what takes place, my people. So then you go down here to the purple, 11. Anybody that has been sending me UV index readings or have been taking the UV index readings, you understand and understand that they have been 11 plus throughout the entire, since last year, 9, in some places 11 plus, and other places 8 or 9 plus. In my area here in the Northeast Philadelphia, the UV index on average has been at a 8 plus. 8 plus. The highest I've had it that I have read over here was 11. That was the highest that I have gotten was an 11. On average, it's between 8 and 9 on an average. And what does that say? Extreme risk of harm. Extreme risk of harm from unprotected sun exposure. Take all precautions possible. It is advised to stay indoors. Less than 15 minutes. Less than 15 minutes. So listen, my people, excuse me, I apologize. I want my people to bear in mind, remember that color chart that I have just showed you. Please remember that color chart that I had just showed you. And now I want you to take a look at this. This is current. This is current right here. August the 7th, 2022, UT time. Now, universal time. They are 4 hours ahead of us. This is the magnetopause. This is monitors the magnetic field line that supposedly protects you from harmful radiation, gamma radiation, which is the highest consciousness on the planet, gamma radiation, which comes from our sun. Now, if you look, this is Earth in the middle. The white side is the daytime side. The dark half is the nighttime side. However, if you look here, look at the points. Look at the points. 90-degree angles. Earth is in a box. It is in a square. It is completely enveloped. I'm not even talking about the fact that the magnetic field right here, you see this right here? How it's all wobbly, how it's being bent, how it's being, all the pressure. This is daytime pressure doing this. Look at the nighttime pressure that's actually closer. Actually close. This is enveloping Earth. Earth is enveloped with high levels of ionized particles. Sources unknown. Sources unknown. I'm telling you where this is coming from. This is why, let me just say this to you. When I use Mr. MB3 video or anybody videos, YouTube doesn't give me any money. I don't get any money from social media. Anyone appreciate the content, hit the like button. Anyone appreciate the content, you grab a shirt, Sunblood, I am not black, message over the money, save our children. Listen, Mother Universe, Star Seeds, if you appreciate, hit that like button. You really appreciate, grab a shirt. If you really appreciate Cashapp, whatever you do comes back. I don't get any money from social media. I do all of this off the muscle of me, off my genuine heart, because I want every species to have their own consciousness. More importantly, my species. More importantly, my species. If you don't care about your species as much as I care about mine, that's on you. That's on you. See this point right here? Look at the square. Look at the square. Straight across. Look at the square. Points. Look at the square. Earth is enveloped. 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 Your sky is not what you think it is. Here's the magnetic field. Here's the solar. Here is solar radiation. This is the solar radiation. Now this monitors again radiation that is coming from the sun, electrons, protons, and neutrons coming from the sun. Here are the arrows that represents that. The arrows should hit the magnetic. This is red. Now this is red. This is the magnetic field line right here. Same as over here on this graph right here. The same. But this is here just showing you more so. It's showing you all, but it's supposedly reading the speed of the solar wind, how fast the cosmic rays are coming from the sun. So, however, let me just say this to you. The arrows represents that solar wind. This red right here represents the magnetic field line. So how is the magnetic field line, which protects you from solar radiation, is red, but however, you got a blue and a black sky. Now, the solar which is completely foolish. Anyway, here we go. Here's the arrows that represents that come the sun that we see in the daytime. Earth is in the middle. Black side is the dark side of the nighttime side. White side is the daytime side. Here is the sun. Here's the rays coming from the sun. So if you go, it went all the way up to what? Let me see what this says. Seven something. Ooh, that went up to 8 and some change. 826. So if you go 826 kilometers per second, how many miles is that per hour? It'll give you the estimate of how fast the cosmic rays are coming from the sun. However, look at the arrows. The arrows should flow and they should go outwardly into space, so-called space. Something is on the nighttime side of Earth. and it is pressing. These are cosmic rays. This is cine, cosmic rays, ionized particles, electrons, protons, neutrons. Ionized particles is particles that are hot, like they are protons. They are energized proton particles that separate the electrons from around the atom, exposing it. And then when it exposed, the UVC radiation goes into the atom where the DNA molecule is at, and it alters or upgrades your DNA. And those changes are irreversible. And this is happening consistently. This is not just happening to you. This is happening to every living organism on the entire planet and the entire solar system for that matter. This is happening. So we go over here to the magnetic field lines real fast. Magnetic field lines, look, August the 7th, 2022. The same thing when Neo woke up. When Neo woke up in the Matrix, all of these lines those holes that was on his body, you can pull it up and you can see. They started popping off. He had one down his mouth because, again, when you speak evil, when you speak a low frequency, you move in a low frequency, you can connect to these field lines. You understand? This is your choice what you want to connect to. If you choose to connect that to that, then that's your choice. Or you can connect to a higher frequency. You cannot see these lines. They are on a whole new different spectrum. We see less than 1% of the light spectrum, but we absorb the entire spectrum of light. This is what melanin is. So let me move right along. Now, remember, I wanted you to bear in mind those colors. Remember that chart. Remember that chart that I showed you. Now, here we go. I'm going to play a video. I want you to listen to this video as I'm playing another video. Now, as I'm playing this video, one of the things that people are going to point out is that I've been stating, again, night vision goggles. Cameras and night vision goggles have what you call infrared lens, right? You have the same thing inside of your eye and what you will call your pineal gland. You can see beyond the so-called darkness. You can see in the dark, the same thing that lions have. It was called a damn, I forgot the name of it. It's an organ that's behind the car. It's called the Latupathan, something I forgot. But anyway, I apologize, my people. I can't regurgitate, but you can say, what is it that like you have the same thing inside of your eye as well, and they're not telling you about it. However, it's called rhodopsin. Understand that it's called rhodopsin. I apologize. That's in the human eye. It's called rhodopsin. So where though that you can see, it's an infrared that you can see. You see all the light spectrum, but it's called rhodopsin, and we have been shut off from that. Now, my people, I'm going to play this. I want you to listen. I want you to listen. I want you to think back. People that have watched the last videos, my last couple of videos, and people that have watched my videos over the years. This all is coming to light right now. This is an extinction level event that's taking place on this planet. You are more. The carbonated beings that's on this planet. You are more than what this world is telling you. The more that you seek to find yourself in this world, the more you are going to destroy yourself. This world was built on your planet and in your universe. You cannot fit in this world. The world does not even fit for you. This is something primitive. And you must understand that and understand that we are now at the end. There was no war in the heavens. The war in the heavens is your consciousness. Understand that. This is where the war at. Can I get you, the golden race, the creators of all, to hate themselves so much that they love another species more than they love their own children, more than they love their own children that they bear? Can I get them to do that? This was the test. Now, and I tell you, my brothers and sisters, listen, be prepared. I want you to hear what I'm going to play this video. Let me start with this one. Cut the volume off. Let me start with that. Nighttime vision goggles. And I want you to hear this.
Greetings. This is a small transmission of the local galactic government, part of the wider Commonwealth of 13 galactic clusters. You can refer to us in one word: Andromedians. You may have heard of us from other sources, but allow us to establish one critical fact. During a galactic uprising that brought great destruction in one-third of this galaxy, certain groups of our Commonwealth joined forces with the Rebel Alliance. This alliance is led by the draconian species, governed by 24 plus 3 council members under a high commander. This ruler goes by many names, most of which are recorded in your planet's history. Point being is that the rebel Andromedians have been acting as intermediaries between the Draconian Alliance and Earth governments, which they have come to control. Their goal is the enslavement of your planet, the extraction of its resources, and the complete extermination of all life. Then the Draconian fleet of 118 war planets, including its 2 flagships, will depart for a critical nerve node of the universal organism. We cannot and will not allow this to happen. Your enslavement has been orchestrated by an artificial race that many of you consider native to your planet. It is not. During your current state, you cannot enter a direct conflict with them. This is our duty. But what you can do is protect yourselves and survive until our arrival. Operative warning is, death rises in the east, but the west has been infiltrated by eastern agents on all levels. Deal with those agents as we deal with the real threat. We have gathered an armada of 960 war planets in multiple dimensions, 340 of which are visible to you. We have been situated around and beyond the trajectory range of Saturn. Any species activity on the inside planets is considered hostile to you. We do not use chatter. We do not send messages to psychics. We only transmit through a strict medium of neutrino beams. The clear reason is that your oppressors do not have access to this technology. Beware of what you call forced flag operations. Earth will be invaded by the Draconian Alliance, frozen to BS. This will include atrocities in order to condition humanity against us and to unite you under a world government. Your Illuminati New World Order is but a predecessor of an even more cruel order that was orchestrated by the Draconians' artificial race. The enemy, on world and off-world, has rejected our terms of surrender. We will intervene in massive and overwhelming force. Our 5th and 6th dimension forces have arrived at your planet, as they cannot be traced or inhibited by the Draconian Alliance. We consider your own dimension being the first, in terms of density. Translating to your terms, you are 3rd dimension, and the enemy exists up to the 5th dimension. We have forces up to the 9th. Once we secure that all the nuclear weapons that have been placed within the Earth's crust in order to destabilize the planet have been neutralized, we will invade. When your rapid eye movement during your sleep ceases to produce erratic dreams and nightmares, know that the enemy's flagship has fallen. A flagship we call Level. A flagship you call Moon. Our true arrival will be signaled by one major event, the extermination of all planetary governments, especially those who have aligned themselves with the eruption of the upcoming world war. Until then, everything else is a lie. You were once citizens of the Galactic Commonwealth. You were invaded and enslaved. We received your distress call and we have sealed the entrances and exits of this solar system. Negotiations with the Draconian Alliance have failed. We are on our way.
All right. That was a lot to hear. Man, like I said, I told y'all I hadn't even listened to that. That's the first time I actually listened to the video. My man was basically saying though that the sun has gotten stronger and is emitting more waves, and he called them cosmic rays out to the earth. And the reason being is because there's an extinction level event that's about to happen. He's attributing this, I guess, to the message from the otherworldly beings from what he's saying, but I'm not sure what the validity of that particular message is, but I think it's a very interesting thing to look into. If you want to look into that or listen to the whole entire video, because we already creeped up on almost 20 minutes, I didn't stop it because I figured you guys are listening to it. The guy's name is Kali Ma'at Amun-Ra. Kalima apostrophe ATAMUNRA. And that's on YouTube. So you can follow him if you want to watch the whole entire video. But some interesting stuff, man. Very interesting stuff. I talked for those of you who are new here. I actually talked to these my subscribers about how I actually saw what he was showing in that video. I actually visually saw that in 2020 when everyone was locked down and the skies were real clear. Because if you remember in 2020, when everything got locked down, the skies were like a beautiful blue, like it was clear as hell. I'm like, yo, I've never seen the sky this clear before. I'm out here in Baltimore, dude. Pollution out here is pretty bad. It's not as bad as New York, but it's solid. But dude, when the plants and all that stuff closed, you literally could see, if you look in the skyline, you can see all the way to the next city. Like you can see far in the distance. Like now it's just a thick cloud or it's like a thick like smog type thing. But now it's nothing like it was before. It was so clear. And at nighttime, you can literally see all the things you could not see at night now moving in the sky. You would just literally see balls of light moving in different directions. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, like they didn't tell us about this in school. Like it was just orbs of light. It looked like a traffic line because there was orbs of light just all moving in one direction at nighttime. All of them. And for like an hour, it was just a straight line of orbs just moving. I'm like, what is that? Same thing you just saw in the video, like the little dots moving back and forth. That was some crazy stuff, but I digress, man. And I pay attention to stuff like that. But dude's saying he's saying it's a whole nother uh, beings, a whole nother group of beings that are coming to quote unquote uh, save us from a draconian government or organization. That's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Let me go back here. What's going on, Mike? Good to see you here, man. What's up, Healing Goddess? They're really trying to start a civil war, huh? I don't think it's as simple as a civil war, man. I think they tried that with the when they staged the riots and stuff like that, and they realized that wasn't gonna work. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be a civil war what they're looking for. What's going on, Jared? Yeah, Kylie is his name. What's up, Lamont? What's up, Lamont? What's going on? Where do you find that chart? Good question. I guess you could just put 2022 radiation chart or something. I'm not sure where you got that from. You think this will affect melanated peeps? I mean, it's hard to say at this point, man. Maybe not. I mean, melanin is definitely something that helps you absorb sun rays, but I know for a fact that even people who are Caucasian have some melanin in them. So, me being lighter skinned, I gotta move differently when I first get out in the sun than people who are darker skinned does. But it's a process. For me, what works for me when I go out, I have to be out for like I can be out in like straight sun with no shirt or nothing on for about like 25 to 30 minutes first. And then I go back in and get the base tan. Once the base tan happens, then I can go out after that and just stay in as long as I want to. And because of stuff we eat and because we're always wearing clothes and stuff like that, we're blocking a lot of the sun rays from actually hitting our skin. So you don't want to just go out there if you're lighter skin and just be in the sun 100% because the sun will tear the fur off you. So for me, the base tan works for me. Like I'll go out, no shirt in the sun, 30 minutes, come back in, stay in the house for like 4 hours or something like that, let my skin get used to it, then go back out in the sun and just play out as long as I want to. When I went to Miami in 2012, that's what I did. Should work fine. I got dark when I came back from Miami. I was dark. I lighten up in wintertime though. I don't think so. Yeah, that's what I was saying. With all due respect, you can't pay me to put SPF anything on my melanated skin. Exactly. I don't fuck with that shit either. I don't fuck with that either at all. If anything, I just use regular oil on my skin before I go out, but I don't mess with that SPF crap. That shit actually is what gives you the. Somebody was telling me that there was a lawsuit that shit actually gives you the goddamn cancer. They settled out, I think, and I think it was the late '90s, wasn't it? Where they settled out of court or something like that because they had proof that the what was that? I think it was banana boat or something like that. But that stuff actually fucks your skin up when you put it on your skin. Yep, alters your skin surface composition. Yep, they microwaving us to death, dude. Like I don't, but yo, to be honest, Mike, I don't even know if that's what the case is, yo. Because I told y'all, if y'all remember, what was it? The 20, I think it was the 27th or the 21st or something. Might have been the 21st of last year. I think they said, was it 2020? Oh man, that's gonna bother me. I should know this. I think it was 2020, as a matter of fact. It was 2020. December 21st of 2020. I think that was the date. And they said Jupiter was visible with the naked eye and it was in perfect alignment with some other planets. And Jupiter was a giant gas ball. And there was a speculation as to whether Jupiter could ignite into a star. Um, I can't say that's exactly what happened, but this sun is a lot strong. Like, yo, this like how hot it is right now outside is a lot stronger than what I remember it being back in the day. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't remember it being this, like Baltimore and Maryland and whatever, East Coast is humid, but yo, this shit is like it's uncomfortable out here. Like, even if you in the shade, like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, it's beating the hell out of you constantly. I don't remember the sun or the humidity, the radiation level being this high. So it just makes you wonder, is it a situation where possibly Jupiter might have ignited, you know what I mean? And maybe it's giving off its own source of heat, and maybe it's a different form of heat, which would be these places, these quote unquote planets were put in place in order to unlock pieces of DNA in the human genome. That could be a thing. I mean, we got to if we're going to be open minded, we got to be open minded. Maybe these planets were put in place in order to unlock at different periods, different forms of DNA in people to help them ascend, basically. The whole goal of ascension with the consciousness is to reach Christ consciousness. That's what the whole ascension is. So if it's a situation where you got these planets put in place, maybe it's a situation when they come in perfect alignment at certain points, they align, and basically one of them that's a giant gas ball could turn into like a sun or something like that. But I don't know, man. All I'm saying is I know this sun is a lot hotter than it used to be, and we do know that they came out and admitted in 2018 that the moon was actually inside the Earth's atmosphere too, which means they were lying about that shit the whole entire time about it being far away in outer space. It's actually a lot closer than we thought it was. So, with that said, you got to start asking what shape the Earth is. You got to start. It's just a lot of questions that come up. You know what I'm saying? We got to ask the questions. She said it sounds wonderful. This is why my dog runs back in the house, dude. It's not animals is even acting. I'm seeing new breeds of animals I've never seen. Literally, like I'm seeing animals do different things. Like it's a mess. Like bugs is moving in different direction. It's crazy. He knows. Hope it brings rejuvenation. Yeah, the goal of it is supposed to be unlocking a new form of our DNA that was previously hidden. It said that we originally had 12 strands of DNA. And all I'm saying is, if these plans are put in place, it could be a situation where these different planets and stuff, gas balls, could bring a different form of radiation or heat to unlock a different part of our DNA. Then if you got a situation where, let's say, a planet is like an ice ball, theoretically, if a planet is like an ice ball, if that comes in a perfect alignment with another like planet or series of planets or something like that, along with the sun, the ice ball could evaporate, bringing whatever germs or such was inside that ice ball could be brought into the atmosphere and could inhabit the earth also. It could be a lot of different stuff. I'm just putting the shit out there, man. His quote on atoms and DNA don't line up with science. What atomic theory is he using? I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't say. I don't. This is the first time I've heard the video. Yes, they want a civil war that will kill off the strong, skilled men and women, and the remaining people will be subservient to power elite. The U.S. Civil War killed off many able-bodied men and women. That is a fact. I have no disagreement with that. What he said about killing off the, socially shaming, societally killing them off and physically killing them off. I have no disagreement about that, whatsoever, rather. Did you hear about China went to the dark side of the moon and met the interstellar race? No, I haven't. I have heard that there was on the other side of the moon. I've actually heard that the moon was actually not even, it's the surface of the moon, which looks like dirt, if you actually watch the moon with a telescope, I think they said it's every few months there's a little line that comes across the moon like this. Like when you're watching a TV channel back in the day, like how the analog TVs were, and you would have like a line coming through the broadcast or whatever, like it was being projected. And they were saying that what you're seeing when you look at the moon is a projection. It's not actually what it looks like. And that's actually a base, they say, of otherworldly beings. I don't know, man. Like this is it's a lot of questions. a lot of questions. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But I haven't heard that particular theory though. No lie, I'm an hour away from B more sky was clear. Yeah, facts. A6, where do you go to get your spring water? As a spring around where I live at, let me show y'all, man, real quick. This is just gonna be real fast because she's asking a question about something I mentioned. I'm surprised they haven't blocked this website yet. It's utterly amazing they haven't blocked this website. But yeah, this is the stuff I talked about on Super Slide 75 channel. Like the stuff has to be there for you to discover, but they don't have to show you shit. They don't have to show you anything. It just has to be there for you to discover, which is, I guess, makes sense why they didn't block it. This is the website right here. This is where I went to, right? So this is a website where you can actually go on this website and you can type in where you live, and it'll show you a map of springs as to where you can get clean spring water from. And some of them already have contraptions, like this one right here has a stone, like almost like a canyon of such, where the water pours through that you can grab out of a, with your container or what have you and drink it. But man, this is the most delicious water I've ever tasted, man. I can't go back to bottled water. You cannot drink bottled water after you start drinking earth spring water. You can't do it because it's gonna taste disgusting. Bottled water tastes like feet now. It's pathetic almost. But yeah, so I don't rock with the bottled water anymore. I rock with the and when I collect it in glass. I don't put it in plastic at all. Plastic has chemicals that seeps into your food, into your drinks. And you can go online and you can get a copper container for probably about like $25, like a copper drinking bottle, and you can actually drink out of it. And it you know helps conduct the energy a lot easier too. All right, where we at? There used to be a book of all the alien races called the KGB book, but they took that issue off YouTube. You can still get that book. I want to get my hands on that book too. That's on my to-do list. I have to get that book because I'm very interested in different races. I think one race they were talking about was the what they call Altarians or something like that. The Altarians. And I started to look into that, and they were saying Altarians usually have like their eyes are a certain amount of distance apart. Like you ever look at like somebody's face and just see how their structure is, and it's way different. Like how Brandy was a good example. Any of the my indigenous or aboriginal people here who remember Brandy from the 90s, or anybody who listened to R&B for that instance, how her eyes were real far apart. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, yo, why is that? And it's like, yo, well, some of these people might be descendants of a different, could be a different race of people, or not, or different race of beings or such. But yeah, they're 100. I actually heard about this book, but you can't get it off the internet. They scrubbed the internet of that book. So a lot of stuff they scrubbed the internet of. Some of this stuff you can't find online anymore, but you can still find it if you go look for it to buy it, like to purchase. But in terms of finding a PDF online, that's going to be hard pressed right there. On YouTube, especially, they take a lot of stuff off YouTube. Nobody has ever been to the moon. Jared said nobody's been to the moon. God damn it! I mean, I'll be honest with you, Jared. Um, if it was a situation where they did get to the moon, it ain't what they told us it was. You know what I'm saying? It ain't what they said it was. Something completely different. What's the guy's name that posted the video? The gentleman's name was, matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna do y'all a favor. I'm gonna type it. I'm gonna type it for y'all. Here we go. This is his name. So if you want to follow him, go follow him. He seems to know what he's talking about, man. I'm always up for a good discussion. So it's right there in the chat. Yep, he already did it. Yo, They Live, dude. They Live was crazy, man. Yeah. Yeah, They Live was. I'm surprised They Live got put out. I'm surprised that movie even made it. Like Roddy Piper, that was his biggest movie he done did. But dude, I still watch that movie every now and again. I'm still blown away by how much of that shit they basically were saying that the satellite is basically casting a spell over all the people that distorts the way the otherworldly beings' faces look. So we look at them and they look like us, but they're actually a separate race of people, or not even people, a separate race of beings. 80%, 85% of my body has scars from burns, so my skin is already fragile. Yeah. SPF has cancer oil chemical based properties. Yep. Sunscreen equals cancer. Boom. What up, Bad Wolf? The Falcon Howl. Yes, indeed. Always, always. I felt in charge in December. Yo, you feel me? December 21st, 2020. And that's when they said Jupiter was in alignment with those other planets. It was in alignment. And dude, I'm telling you, after that, that's when shit started happening, dude. You know, that's when people started to stand up and fight the mask mandates back. That's when the C-19 started to really get like, it started to fall off real heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like it started to literally go in a decline at that. People started not giving a fuck about that shit no more. You know, the people who were asleep started to wake up. We don't have melanin, we have neuromelanin. We are carbonated. Other species have melanin to protect them from the sun. It's like the heat is suffocating you. Yes, ma'am. Indeed. The wolf is in his house. Yeah, wolf been in here. Y'all late. Y'all come in here like we almost 2 hours in. Y'all talking about wolf and wolf been in the house. Wolf been in the house. Yes, sir. We got 2 moons now. Really? I didn't see 2. I seen a giant star that is it's not the North Star either. I know what the North Star looks like. It's not it's bigger than the North Star, but there's a giant star that's in the sky now that wasn't visible before. And I was telling my dude I work with that looks like a mini moon, and he was like, "That's the North Star." I said, "No, the North Star is right there." And he looked at it like, "Oh damn, that is the North Star." Then what the hell is that? That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Neutrogena and J&J had to recall their sunscreen last year. Yeah, man. And a lot of companies are recalling their products, and it's surprising. Like people are starting to get on their ass. There's a lot of class action lawsuit settlements now. Facebook is having a class action. If you got a Facebook, get on the class action website and try to put in a claim and get some of that cheese they about to cut out to everybody. Fuck that. Get a piece of the pie, man. All these are T-Mobile. I think T-Mobile had one. Capital One had one. There's a lot of companies, dude. AT&T just had a data breach settlement. It's a lot of payments out there, man. Y'all just got to go find them. The planet ascension is right on the money. Yes, indeed. Yes, that's what I'm thinking, dude. That's what I'm thinking. Like, yo, if you look at the way this stuff is and structured, yo, these things might literally just be put in place. So when they get in perfect alignment, the gas ball might ignite and cause a trigger reaction, which comes in the on our skin and comes in our noses and mouths. So what we breathe in, and then boom, DNA starts to change. If there's like let's say Venus, for instance, is a giant ice ball. Let's say that gets in perfect alignment with the way the rays are moving and stuff, and boom, Venus melts, the gas starts to come down in the atmosphere. Now we breathe in all them ancient frozen what is it, like chemicals and whatever it is, whatever the natural term for it is, and we start to breathe that in. And back in the day we was able to do shit like fly and all that stuff too, which is, it probably sound crazy if y'all ain't open-minded, but yeah, back in the day we had all those abilities to do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And then you inhale that and you start to get your powers back. You start to unlock different DNA to be able to do different things. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say, yo, literally, we are actually the gods. That's what they say. Yup. 2 suns, 2 moons. More radiation. All the ancient cultures speak of a time when Saturn shined brighter than the sun for months. It is not unheard of for Jupiter to take its turn. Dude, I'm telling you, yo. I'm telling you, man. No, they try to sweep that shit in history. Like, no, like, why is nobody still talking about when Jupiter? No, I remember. Fuck that. I remember. And I remember after that shit happened, the heat ain't been the same since. After that, Jupiter got in alignment and it was visible and everybody was talking about, oh, look, you can see Jupiter. After that, dude, The sun, the heat has not been the same. It's been stupid hot. You see what I'm saying? It's been stupid hot. And I can honestly say I'm having a lot easier time retaining knowledge. When I read, I'm having a lot easier time retaining when I'm reading. Before, I was always the child who I would have to read stuff like 4 to 5 times to grasp it. I wasn't slow, but like I would get the information. Um, it would take me more time to read the information to absorb it. So in school, I always basically was like, man, this is a bunch of bullshit. I don't feel like I really have to know any of this stuff. I know they feeding me bullshit. I'm like inadvertently blocking out garbage. And then so I basically treated school as such. It felt like I was just doing what I had to do to get through it. But it felt like, all the shit I was learning in school was bullshit anyway. It's my bullshit meter was going off. But ever since that happened though, when 2020 happened, dude, and I started to really ask questions and I started to get into I started to get into law versus legalities. I started to get into like a little bit of history. I started to learn a little bit of like about planets and stuff like that. I started to question things. And like, ever since then, I started to really just absorb the knowledge a lot easier and I was able to articulate it. It's crazy. You know what I mean? If I could talk to 2015 me would be blown away. Like, where did you learn all this shit from? Like, what the fuck? The sun has to be lower than what planes fly. Yeah, I've actually seen planes fly above the sun. I've seen that happen. I've actually seen clouds behind the sun too. The sun has to be lower than what planes can fly if the guy has a whole video flying over the sun. Right, yeah, she's talking about the same thing I'm talking about. Yep. No flat areas on the ball. Doesn't matter how big the ball is. There you go. Now we in an intergalactic war. Intergalactic war, man. That's why they told us that shit on Star Trek, Star Wars, bro. Galactic federations and portal jumps and all that shit. I mean, let's keep it a buck though. It's very possible. We know portals are real. We know the black holes are nothing but portals. Black holes suck in, white holes spit out. So a white hole is going to be something that pushes something to your dimension. A black hole is going to be something that takes you to another dimension. And even so, scientists will still tell you when a black hole basically absorbs something, it breaks it down in order to take it through. So it'll take you, break you down, break you down, break you down, break you down into like over more than like sextillions of pieces and send it through a portal. But they say they don't know where it comes from. But see, there's the thing. They lying because when they fuck around with that particle accelerator with CERN, they know exactly what they were doing. They were trying to create dark matter, a black hole, so we can be sucked through it through another dimension. They're trying to avoid what's about to happen. What's about to happen is our DNA is about to be unlocked. That's what it is. The pieces really, really are coming together for me. They trying to avoid that shit. They trying to avoid giving up control. They trying to avoid their ancestors having to deal with the bullshit they done to us. They're trying to avoid it. Crow was the first to film it. They put a chemical in shampoo that causes young girls to develop quicker and it feminizes young men. They hide 15 different ingredients in the term fragrance. Yeah, I heard about the shampoo. I heard about that website. I think she's talking about the finest spring. Bottled water ain't nothing but y'all. I told my dude that like, yo, you ain't drinking nothing but tap water anyway. He get pissed when I tell him that because I tell him I'm drinking this. He's like, you gonna grow another leg? I'm like, bro, you literally can't see what's going on right in front of you when they show you something on the news. And I literally tell you what's going on. You still can't see it. You already grew another. You grew a phantom leg. You got a phantom leg where your brain used to be at drinking that shit. Yeah, I don't mess with it. I don't know the name of the book. I can't say what the name of the book is. I'm not sure offhand. They Live is a documentary. You best believe it, sir. Get these damn bots out of here. The Great Conjunction. I started warning people in March 2020. This dude called Richie from Boston. Yo, Richie from Boston. They done banned his channel like I don't know how many times they've been. They probably went through Richie from Boston's channel like 13 different times. I used to follow I still do. Barricade Garage. If y'all remember who Barricade Garage is, he also Barricade Garage helped me get me through a lot of the he dude from DC about an hour away from where I'm at. But a Barricade Garage actually helped me get through a lot of 2020 because, 2020 was rough for me, bro, because like I was seeing shit happen and I was telling people, like, man, y'all need to wake the fuck up. Like, y'all need to wake up to what's going on. Y'all are crazy if y'all don't see what's going on. And it was just me and nobody else gave a shit. They were like, oh, you got to do it because they told you to do it. I'm like, no, you don't have to fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't. So I started listening to like Barricade Garage, and he had some real good skits. And his skits, if you look at his skits about the pandemic, dude, you can go back and look at his videos from 2 years ago about the pandemic, yo. They some of the funniest videos I've seen on YouTube. Funniest videos I've seen on YouTube, but he had some fire. And shout out to Barricade Garage, man. Yeah, he was warning people about the pandemic. Yeah. Yep. Light pollution restricts people from the stars. Humans have evolved under the stars. We need that connection, but it's lost today. We got to. Yeah, I got him up out of there. It's all good. I saw a documentary called Alien Signs in Ancient Skies where it says Saturn was the primordial sun and it was in a fixed position aligned with Venus, Mars, and Earth. That's what ended up happening in 2020 and December 21st. That's what ended up happening. Yeah, it was in perfect alignment. And I think that what happened, I think it ignited. It's a giant ball of gas. Excuse me. You're saying Saturn. I'm talking about Jupiter. But yeah, I think that's similar to what happened with Jupiter, rather. Very similar. And then, like I said, when these things come in alignment, it's not that it's just neat to look at. No, when these things line up, shit happens. The same thing with the pyramids. The way the pyramids was built, the pyramids were built to line up with the Fibonacci spiral. They were built to line up with the Milky Way and a few other things like within the equinox and such. They're basically built in order for it to be a perfect alignment. So when you say things like, oh, it's just a coincidence, that sounds ridiculous. There's also coordinates. What is the coordinates to? I think the coordinates are like 3.15 or something like pi. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. But the coordinates to where the pyramids are, they're like a perfect number that lines up with something else. It escapes me what it was, but I actually remember reading that a while ago. Just got reports that Mexico collapsed and declared martial law. Get the fuck out of here. Holy shit. Well, that's that. Hey, what can I say, man? Sheesh. Black Root Science tells you everything you need to know about what is going on with everything today. Black Root Science is lit. I'm about to fuck with that. I live and breathe Black Root Science. Let me write that down. I will be looking into that. Thank you so much. Ain't that the truth? Above Majestic is a dope documentary too. That movie They Live was speaking the truth. That shit was crazy, son. Like, yo, let me ask y'all a question though, bro. If y'all had them glasses, right, where y'all can see who was who, do y'all really think that y'all can continue to function in society? Like, what would be your first objective if you actually could see what was really going on? You know what I mean? Like, yo, you look at the signs and it tells you exactly what they want you to do, and you look at these beings and they somebody else and who you thought they were. What would be your first move? Like, would you tell somebody first, or would you say, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and just go and get these plane tickets and get out of this goddamn city and go live on a beach somewhere away from everybody. You see what I'm saying? Like, what would be your plan of attack with that? And you throw those glasses on, you see all of them. Yes, indeed. That part. Anyone else know the name of the book? Secret Russian KGB. Thank you. Thank you. And yo, make no mistake, all of these countries all around the world know exactly what the hell is going on. I'm gonna go as far as to say there's already a pact in place because if you look at somewhere like what is it? I think is it Antarctica? I think it is where every country has an agreement not to go and drill for any natural resources. I think it might be Antarctica. I always have trouble remembering if it's the North Pole or Antarctica. It's one of those ice caps, basically, that they call it an ice cap. But it's one of those things where like every country has an agreement, like there's flags and there's a treaty with all countries all over the nation that nobody's allowed to mine for minerals, and they've already said that that place is completely filled with plutonium, which people are killed every day over. Gold, silver, any precious commodity of land resource is basically located in that particular spot, and nobody goes to mine for it, which is just mind blowing. So obviously, there's something there they want nobody to know about. It was on YouTube a couple months ago. They're gonna pull that. You know, they're gonna take that off of there. That's a given. They might re-upload it, but it might just be on for a few months. That's how they do. Another video that you guys need to look into is Hidden Human History. That's a real good video. It's about an hour-long presentation by Spirit Science. It's about an hour-long presentation, and it tells you exactly what their interpretation of history goes. It tells you about religion. It tells you about past civilizations, the Sumerians, the Mayans. It tells you about the temples, the pyramids, Christianity, Islam. It tells you about previous wars, what Mars was before the incident happened, the Illuminati. It tells you about all that shit, dude. It's called Hidden Human History, 3 H's, Triple H. The focus is up more. Yeah, true indeed. So YouTube, Black Root Science. I can email you the PDF. Which PDF we talking about? Because I'm trying to get that. My email is right at the bottom. Whatever you guys send me, I will go crazy off just trying to convince people. Dude, listen, tell you something. You gotta save your energy, yo. Yo, you gotta save your energy. Don't waste your energy. You got your energy can be used so many different ways, but you can't force people to see your vision. If they're not already asking the questions, ain't nothing you can do about it. If they're not already asking the right questions or just asking you what you think about something, you gotta leave it alone. You gotta communicate with people on a day-to-day basis to the level their consciousness is on. See what I'm saying? But just make it a habit to not stick around them that consciousness level, because you got to get back up to where you belong. But when you're just dealing with people on a day-to-day, you have remedial ass conversation. If you're not even the type to have a remedial ass conversation after absorbing this knowledge, you just avoid them altogether if you can. But let's be honest, the way things are set up here, you can't always do that. The Cyasin lens, look them up. The Cyasin lens? What is that? What is that? I'm gonna look into that. If that's what I think it is, that's very interesting. A6 above majestic was ill. Watch it if you haven't already. Yeah, I got a little list here, man. I got a list of stuff I'm gonna catch up on. As far as these things, as far as the beings I see it now when I go to court, but not the courtroom, you can see the lawyers. Yeah, that's true. You actually can look at the way they move, and you can look at the way their head shaped and the way their eyes look. It's easier to tell now. You know what I mean? But let's be honest, yo. Some of these disguises and shit they got, bro, pretty good. They got some real good meat suits. Yeah. The Elohim is all that return. And all right, we creeping up on 2 hours now. Damn, we got hella comments. All right, so this is the part. I usually do this after an hour, but we went over way long today. So I'm gonna drop the link here. If anybody has any questions, comments, or anything they want to bring out to the public, we can start addressing that now. So there's the link in the bottom. Here we go. So if you want to get in on the chat, or if you want to just, you got any questions, now's the time to ask. All right, an article with Agartha. You're right. I had that PDF. Hidden Human History was made by who? Spirit Science, I think. Spirit Science is who Hidden Human History was made by. It's on YouTube. It's an hour-long presentation. I watched that thing like 4 times, because maybe 5. I was enamored with it, yo. It blew me away. The first time I saw it, it answered a lot of questions I already had. Then when I tried to when I cross-referenced some of the shit they were talking about, because they give you where to look at if you want to find out more about it. They were like, we can't talk about that now because it's too much to cover. But we're just gonna glaze over the surface. If you want to look more into it, this book you can read. And I looked into it like, yo, this shit is crazy, because they were telling the truth. They are hiding more land than you know about. Old Japanese maps show 58 continents, not 7. That's crazy. An old Japanese map. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. They hiding more land. Yeah, hell yeah, I believe that. Shit, it might fuck around and be a situation where a lot of these actors and stuff like that they say pass are using the DBA, and the actual pass of the the actor is just the pass to their persona they were playing. Because a lot of these, let's be honest, you know, these actors and actresses are using DBAs. They're using doing business as names. So these are legal fictions. So yes, a legal fiction can definitely die, but it might be a situation where these actors and actresses is going on to some other island that people don't know about that exists. But them. Spirit Science did the hidden human history. Spirit Science, yeah. Antarctic Treaty needs to be abolished. Dude, listen, here's what's not gonna happen. Here's what's not gonna happen, Jared. The Antarctica Treaty being abolished. You fuck around and go there and find a damn control room for the ship that we ran out of fuel like 300,000 years ago, and we just floating through some time and space or whatever. You feel me? Oh man, I'm sure you talked about this. I know. Shout out to Super Sly. What are your thoughts on the Mandela effect? The Mandela effect, man. The Mandela effect is a product of them fucking around with that CERN. Because let's be honest, all right, and I'm going to call it the way it is. Everybody hit that like button. So we got 32 heads in. We had almost 40. So I'm hoping everybody's hitting the like button as they're coming through. But yo, check this out, all right? Yo, everybody here can attest to the fact that they saw Shazam with Sinbad. I fucking saw that movie and I remember the plot. That movie existed. I don't care what nobody says, and I don't care. I don't care. I saw it. I saw it and I remember the plot and I remember the shit because I was punished on a Saturday because I did some shit I had no business doing in school and I was punished. So I had to stay in the house and I had to watch movies that aired on Saturdays, which were usually bullshit. But this one was good and I liked it. I remember the story. I remember it. And I remember Sinbad because it was funny as hell. So yeah, I remember that. Hold on, I seen one cop that had slits in there. Dude, let me tell you something, yo. You seen him face to face? Because let me tell you something. I was watching the news, all right, and I rarely watch the news, but it was the Maryland Fraternal Order of Police. And goddamn it, if I ain't see some shit, goddamn it, I saw some shit. And I pointed some shit out to somebody else who was watching it, and she saw some shit, and she don't even believe in shit. And we both saw that shit, and we was like, "What is that shit?" But yo, something was wrong with the eyes, bro. It wasn't right. It wasn't right, yo. Something was not right with the eyes. I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, I saw that shit. It's a goddamn bot. This was when I applied to be a police officer. Thank God I didn't get accepted. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, in like positions of power. That's where they be at, man. They told us therapy backwards. I missed that. I don't know what you're talking about, Cash. That and the word magic I have watched 5 times or more. 5 or more times of it. The map, my bad. Oh, okay, I got you. I feel you. Yeah, Sinbad was a genie. I remember the movie. It was a good story. I was like, yo, this is pretty good. This is a good movie. I was surprised this was aired on just a regular ass Saturday. But yo, Sinbad had some good stuff. But that motherfucker did a genie movie. But when they start messing around with that CERN, whatever universe we got transported to, or whatever alternate dimension we got transported to, man, listen, shit is similar, but it's not 100% the same. And even recently, like I'm noticing differences in my life that I know for a fact that was this way. And then like later on this year, like let's say February, there were some things I was dealing with business wise. I'm like, yo, I know for a fact this was this way earlier this year. And I'm not gonna say that because I don't want to, make everybody seem, like they crazy or something like that. But yo, I know for a fact this was this way. And then later on, I'm like, yo, nah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. We never needed gas or oil for anything but fuel and energy. Lied to us our whole lives. Yep. Her eyes, I thought something was in my eyes, and it wasn't. It was her eyes, bro. They were green with a yellow slit like her face was a hologram. Woo, that's crazy. And this was right in front of you. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know what I would say. I don't know what I would say. I saw something like that when I was in Arizona too. And I think she knew I saw it because she looked away as soon as I looked at it and I was looking at her in her eyes, and I think she looked away instantly. But yeah, I think they know when you see. All right, I got somebody trying to get here, and somebody's in the green room trying to get on, but it's not going to let you get on unless you upload your video. You got to turn your camera on. It's not going to let me add you. I think there has been a whole lot of rare animal sightings and behavior since they turned the machine on. Yeah, I saw this animal that didn't have a face. It looked like it was like some kind of rat or a chipmunk or something, but the face was flat. And it was, what the hell was that thing called? I can't remember what it was called. But it was the ugliest goddamn creature I hadn't seen. That shit was ugly as hell. I'm like, what is that? It looked like it was a goddamn rodent. And the thing had a flat face. I'm like, what is that damn thing? Fur and everything. Crazy. Crazy. Yo, I seen that Tostitos pizza roll. Tostitos pizza rolls was changed. That's crazy. What changed about that? I know for a fact, Hypnotic, lacquer or liquor or whatever the fuck that shit is called, that drink they got that's supposed to, like, you're supposed to add it to your cocktail to make it blend a little better. But yeah, that actually changed. The spelling changed. The Y is gone. It used to be a Y in Hypnotic. Now it's just HP Nautic. Like, what the? It was a Y in Hypnotic. I know for a fact because we used to do Incredible Hulk when I was younger than I was supposed to be drinking some goddamn Incredible Hulk. And I know it was a Y in it. It's like she could hold it. It's like she couldn't hold it. And then they said I wasn't accepted. I politely left and watched my back when I got to the car. Yeah, you felt like something wasn't right. It's because your mind or your spirit was telling you something was off. And they know who, I think that, and to be honest, I'm gonna tell you something, Mike. They know who to approve and who not to approve. And I think they have a pretty accurate ratio of who they accept in the department to make sure that they don't get the type of person in that's gonna actually change the order, that they would have to do something dirty to. You know what I mean? They try to avoid that. They try to keep the order the way it is. But yeah, man, your spirit was telling you something wasn't right. You feel me? All right, so I got my man Stephen E in the green room. Let me try to bring you in. Your camera kicked out. I can't let you in. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. What's up, Steve?
What up, homie?
What's going on, champ? What's on your mind,
What's on,
Famo?
bro? That was me that hit you up as miscellaneous 17.
I can't hear you. Your signal skipping out. Your
All
signal
right.
skipped out. I couldn't hear you. You said something about miscellaneous. Damn, they got him up out of there.
Yeah.
But there you
Yeah.
go.
Can you hear me now? Can
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
can you hear me
Yeah.
now? Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
They're not letting you talk, man. Like as soon as you try to go into whatever you're talking about, your signal cuts out.
I can hear you.
I
Can
know,
you
but
can't hear me
we
now?
can't hear you. We can't really hear you that well. And your picture
Okay.
is freezing up too.
Yeah. It keeps cutting.
Try to go to a different area where you got better signal.
Yeah, it keep cutting out.
All right, I'm gonna put you in the green one in the meantime. I'll come
All right,
back to you. All right, so yeah, where we at? Fitbit did a data drop and revealed that the gov a million people have full cities under the ice. Hell yeah! I mean, shit, it's people under it's goddamn civilizations underneath the ground you standing on. I 1,000% believe that, dude. This is so many things they're not telling you. We probably know about like 1% of shit on this entire earth because they didn't inform us and they didn't educate us on. But there's a lot of stuff you could read by just looking through books. They don't hide the books. Certain books you can't get your hands on, but for the most part, all that stuff is in books. When you see them slip, nah, don't do that, yo. What you don't want to do is go to war with these mofos. I don't agree with that at all. If you see that, make a note of it, and try to go the opposite way. You know what's going on with you? Nah, bro, you don't want to do that, man. I wouldn't do that personally. Nah, I just make a mental note and then know what kind of bullshit they be on. You feel me? Because let's be honest, like majority of places you go that are in power, you're probably gonna have to deal with some shit like that. You feel me? Greetings from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA Republic. What's up, Angela? Good to see you here. You late. You late. You're tardy to the party. Explain that. Chick-fil-A is now true. You know what's interesting about that one? I remember it was CHIC at first. Wait a minute, hold on. It was the opposite at first. It was CHIC with no K, I think. And then the first time they used they used the CERN, which is I think 2020, what was that, 16 or something like that, somewhere around that time. And then the Chick-fil-A spelling changed, and then when they used it again, now it's spelled back the other way. So whatever they doing, they jumping back and forth. CERN is the exact opposite side of the planet from the New Zealand coast. There was an earthquake off that coast earlier today. Check it out. I'm looking at it. CERN says an earthquake, New Zealand coast. Damn, that was a 5.0 magnitude. Holy shit. That looked like that was in the it looks like the center of it originated in the ocean. Nah, it says right here that was a 6.7. Sheesh. That's a Richter scale breaker right there. God damn. That's crazy. The latest Mandela effect is Scary Movie 2. Take my strong. What happened, yo? Nah, hold on, yo. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. I see you, Steven. Give me 1 sec. I see you in the green room. What are we talking about here? About the Mandela effect. What happened with the little hand? What happened? What happened? You're not gonna sit here and tell me he didn't say, take my little hand with the with the nub. Dude, I remember that shit because I was on the floor when he started saying it. What'd he say, yo? What happened with that? I think it's a type of mole. I saw it on Instagram. It's called Spalax. Yeah, Spalax. That's what that ugly ass goddamn thing is called. I never saw that before. All right, back from the green room, I got my man Steven. What's good, fam?
What's good, homie?
What up? What's on your mind, man? Talk to me.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, yeah. I was saying that was me, man. I was the one that was hitting you up about the jujitsu stuff. Remember miscellaneous?
On Super Slide 75.
That's my channel. That's
huh? You said the miscellaneous is your channel.
The one in the comments. I always be in the chat room.
Oh yeah,
miscellaneous 17 when I'm sending you the messages. That's me. Yeah. I know I don't have a face to it because not on Super. I'm talking about in YouTube. It's a YouTube channel. Just anyway, that
I get hit up a lot.
That's my channel. I mean, it's not up and popping like yours. That's just my channel, my way I communicate through folks. But like when I send messages, it was like, and I know she responded a couple times. She's like, I'm a blue belt, whatever. And I was like, It was something you had said in one of your videos, and I was like, I feel what you're saying. So I was saying that was me. But I actually had to click when you said click on your link. It actually took me to the browser where I'm not actually in the actual app. And I actually had to get off my normal Wi-Fi to talk to you because every time I kept talking in the Wi-Fi, we kept getting cut off. Like they must be in my Wi-Fi or something because I've started having problems I've never had before with my Wi-Fi. Yeah. And it's just weird. But anyway, man, I want to definitely build with you and the Wolf about, you know what I'm saying, changing the status and all. Mm-hmm. But I sent you a message just now about MREC to see if you was hip to that show they have where he talking about some of the similar stuff you're talking about with going on with the galaxy and all and our higher conscious. And I was trying to see if you was familiar with it.
Where'd you send the message on
because everything's starting to come together, man. You know.
Yeah. You sent the message on YouTube.
Yeah,
you said?
yeah. In the chat under it'll say miscellaneous. Yeah,
Hold on,
yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta look.
In
It
the
must be.
chat, if you look on the chat, because you answered my question earlier,
Oh, you mean in
it's
the chat
probably
on
a
this video?
delay.
You
It
mean?
says I said are you yeah, 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 yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, the current one. But
Okay.
if you see miscellaneous 17, you'll know that's me. So now you got a face to it because I just never
Okay.
use the channel. I just had that channel for a while, and um it's easier to keep track of my history and account when I like listen to videos and like them and keep track of what I do. But anywho, man, it's a blessing to have somebody like y'all around, man, because I definitely want to be with y'all about the legal stuff, and we got a lot of stuff that maybe I can bring to the table as examples. I'm not sure how much court experience a lot of y'all have, man, but I'm in Ohio, right? I don't know if you know that I'm in Ohio, and there's definitely a lot of crazy stuff that's been happening, man, for the last share that with y'all, man. Is there a way that because I know I had screenshotted some of your contacts, and I was trying to figure out what do I need to do to correct the status? Like what's one of the starters? And I know I asked you a question about were you familiar with this one guy's channel? His name is Rob Ryder. Are you familiar with him? He's in Michigan, and he's a veteran, and he always emphasizes about like some of the errors the courts are doing on the state level. Like a lot of stuff that's pretty much a-hole backwards. And he points it out all the time. And it's like, they're just getting away with all kind of stuff, man. They doing it like they stay taking people's houses. They're ignoring court procedures, man. Even case law, like statutes. I mean, look, I got access to a lot of like case law that'll prove a lot of stuff. In Ohio, we got some good like statutes and stuff that we could use, but it's like the courts choose to ignore them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you'll approve somebody lying on you, right? Which is which should be a credibility shot. Like I don't understand how. I mean, I understand now why they do it because they're just unreasonable folks that work at these places. I don't even see how they're even human, and it's starting to all make sense with this whole space and our beings and who we are because they have a lot of draconian methods. It's very immoral on how they make these decisions. Like how in God's name can you justify if you catch somebody in a lie? Like the girl say you did something to her, you didn't do what they claim you did to her. You actually prove a contradiction. Then they give her a chance to make up another lie, and you just keep defending another lie. It's like how many times what was the whole saying about how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Pop or the rolls? Like they just keep lying, and it's like, wait a minute, they're here really just to take our energy and take us out of here, and it's deeper than just racism stuff. It's like it's like they got male against female. I mean, it's ridiculous up here, man. A6 is crazy, and no, it seems like no matter what you do, from I've been in state court, I've been in appeals, even federal, and these lying bastards, man, they just do what the hell they want to do, man. They got to stop. But it makes sense because prior to me getting hip to you and was the brother finest thing walking and the wolf, I say it got something to do with status. It got to be. They got us thinking that it's just the black and white thing, but that's barely scratching the surface.
That's because
And
you can't do
one
nothing
thing
about
about
that.
the
They
enemy
want
I
you to
know
just
is that
accept it.
right. And it's like one thing about the enemy is that it's a saying they say when you see when you see your opponent about to make a mistake, you don't interrupt them. And it's like as long as they think that we think it's about racism and it's about this and that, they got us. It's actually a little more deeper than that. It's about your spirit. Like you'll wonder like how somebody bond higher than this person. They did the similar crime you did or is accused of. They just be making up stuff.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and it has something to do with the status. And we're listed like you were saying, the 14th Amendment citizen versus
You got
what's the
privileges.
term that you said? I don't want to misquote you.
14th Amendment
Right.
citizen versus
What's the
national.
status you were talking?
It's called being a
National. Okay,
national.
right. So being a national. Right. So being a national, but see, a lot of people aren't aware of that. They thinking like, oh, I follow the law. You pay your taxes. You do all this, and then they they find a way to still give it to you, and then it becomes like, that's why I put the link in the chat with MREC on there. It's a brother named Talib, and it's like the way he gives his deliveries, it makes so much sense. And I've heard some of the same things he says throughout the years from different people, but not necessarily the type of people that practice what they preach. Because it's a lot of fools on YouTube that'll say something true, and then they'll do some crazy stuff that's questionable. So it's kind of like,
Dude,
but
I
your
literally
character,
had
brother,
this
it's a blessing.
conversation with somebody a few days ago. Like it's a few dudes that are doing it. Like they'll do some stuff and they'll hit the nail on the head, and they'll get a bunch of subscribers, and then they'll just start giving out some stupid ass like, "Whoa, and have you read any books? Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like you gonna get people in trouble doing that, So you gotta be careful with that. 100%.
Right. You definitely gotta you gotta use your discernment skills, man. And the thing is that, I mean, I've been privileged enough to be around some folks that brought things to my attention, and some of it comes back, some research I've done on my own, but it's been a journey. And like, it's funny how you kept saying this. You probably the only YouTuber that said this, that you said 2020 really was like an opening point, wake up call. And it's like you start noticing certain things that you didn't notice before, and you had some time off to really reflect on things. 2020, right? 2020, and I definitely believe in numbers, man. Like, numbers have a lot of truth in it, though. Like numerology, but maybe not the way that they put out in the libraries. Because remember, KRS-One always said that's where lies are buried. So it's like the weed with the tear. You have to read through stuff. You have to read through stuff. You have to read through stuff just to get to the truth. Like, it's not going to just be a book of straight truth when another man writes it, because A, they don't know everything, and B, you don't know what kind of agenda they pushing. Because if you know with like religions, like all religions, they got some good stuff in them, and that's how I look at religions. Are like bits and pieces of the truth spread out, but it's always started by some kind of man,
facts
right?
right there. Yeah, that's facts. They put bits of truth in different religions, and then while these religions are fighting with each other, little do they know, if they all came together and just actually understood, they'd probably be able to put the pieces together and grasp exactly what the hell went on. And that's why I tell people, like, yo, there is no one religion. You know what I mean? There's no one religion. There's bits of truth in all of them.
Right. I mean, because you gotta think about it. It's starting not to make sense no more. Like, it's people out here who are atheists. They don't believe in nothing. They evil as hell, and they just getting away with stuff. So it's like, and then people who trying to do the right thing catching all the hell. So I'm looking at like, well, obviously this ain't working. So somebody doing something wrong. So we need to like check ourselves and figure out what we doing wrong, because they got us thinking that God is the exterior. And let me ask you this question, A6. So if you was born a horse or a wolf, right, you would be of a wolf. So since we come from God, we're gods, right? Because we come from the Most High. So we come from the Most High. We're Most High. But like, I remember there was one brother at the mosque said one time, it ain't that we're the capital G, we're the lowercase g, but they got us thinking we're not even that. They got us thinking that you lower and lesser, and you catching this because of this. It's like, nah, man, I know in my heart that this is slavery was going on, man. It's modern day slavery. You have to ask yourself, the story that they give us, and this is what Talib talks about a lot, a story, and people buy into these stories. He's exactly right. People buy into these stories. So, and then even with the stories, you can learn something from it, and you can pick from it and show how it's a contradiction. And because if it's a story that we were this at one point, even though we know we was already here, it was people, indigenous people all over the world. And just because it's new to them don't mean it's new to us. When they were in bondage, and you're born into bondage, you think it's normal because your mommy and daddy's doing it. Just like what's happening right now when you were born in a hospital. And a lot of people don't know hospital mean place of death in Latin, right? Which is another like one of those forgotten dead languages, but they give you that birth certificate. And if we break down, if we just start paying attention to words, like, it should be a birth record, not certificate. Because certificate is, I think of like, merchant commerce when I think of certificate, like money.
It's commercial.
It should be a birth record.
Here's the interesting thing about that, though, Stephen. Let me cut in real quick.
And this social security stuff too. Check us out.
Hear me out, yo. Here's the interesting thing about that with the whole birth certificate thing, right? See, back in the day, we didn't even let the state give us birth certificates. We used to use the Bible. A lot of people don't know you can
Right.
still use you can actually, because you need to have
Right.
two witnesses and one including yourself, which is basically three witnesses. So if you got a situation where you were born and you want to basically use your own private Bible for a birth certificate, you can do so. All you gotta do is have your mom sign it, date it, thumbprint. Dad, same thing. Sign it. You can do red or blue. I wouldn't do black. And then you too, because you were there, because you were born, obviously. And then with those three right there with the date, that would certify the day you were born. That's simple. And that can be used in place of a
Right.
birth certificate.
I remember that. I remember those days. My grandmother's mother had a Bible that was like that, and I believe she had one too. I don't know what happened to
We
those
can't hear
Bibles,
you.
but
You
I
went quiet.
remember it had. You used to. Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
it was muffled. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. No, I was saying, I recall my great grandmother having something like that in one of her Bibles, and then my grandmother, that was her mother, they used to have. She had a name of written of all her children, like my uncle, my mother, and her children. That was a thing, and then somehow we keep getting dumbed down to giving up power to third party people who are foreigners, aka, I don't know what they are. They could have came from another planet or whatever. We don't know who these people are, and it's the rumors I've heard. I've heard the thing about that the real birth certificate is it's your finger, it's your footprint and your handprints as a baby, and they say it gets sent to the Vatican or something.
I heard about that. Yeah.
But actually, the other part of the truth is it actually gets sent to Puerto Rico. So I believe it's both. Yeah, I believe it's both. I think it's both. Both or whatever. But why are we doing that? Like, why are we letting people put? And then I know an older woman, and she's still alive to this day. Shouts out to you if you hear this, sister. But she told me about the Social Security thing a long time ago. She says that that's a new thing. I think it came out in the 30s or maybe 1929. Don't quote me on it. But and then I seen this right after she told me that it was this little like things you probably didn't know by Yahoo. Yahoo used to put these little like facts out you didn't know, and they talked about the Social Security Administration. The Social Security Administration did not always exist. It's a new thing, and it's just like I'm starting to really see it now as I'm getting older. Like these new generations. Like I remember I ran into this one kid years ago. He was born in the 90s, and he said he's not even aware of a seeded watermelon. I'm like, that's crazy, because
that's
why they took the seeds out. Did you know that the seeds in the watermelon, actually we're supposed to eat them? It actually helped us males out with our our private areas. It's actually good to eat. We used to spit them out, or they would say, you'll grow watermelon in your stomach if you swallow it. But it's seeds. But anytime it's high, right, there you go. It's high. So anytime they start taking out stuff, they're dumbing us down even more. Like even with martial arts, let's go into martial arts thing for a minute. I believe once upon a time that there was no style. That's what Bruce Lee was like, the leaf of it. He was the leaf that sparked the revolution, because at one point it was like you had karate, you had people that was in the kung fu, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, kempo, all these different arts, and everybody thought their style was this, but really ain't no style. Is one style. We need to know a little bit of everything. So if somebody takes you to the ground, you know how to defend yourself from the ground, versus, just some people are good strikers. But a lot of these guys out here who got an ego complex, they don't realize that y'all lacking if you don't know a little bit of jiu-jitsu, a little bit of wrestling. Because I'm telling you, you might bust somebody in their jaw. If you don't knock them out and they get you to the ground, it's going to be over for you. And that people starting to notice that with MMA, but that's kind of like old news to certain people. But back then it was that stigma about, oh, you only do one style. And it technically take about 10 years to really get good at one. But for the most part, we're not supposed to be separating stuff. What I'm starting to know is that we're not supposed to be separating stuff. Like we're this division. Division ain't good always, and it's like, it shouldn't be no thing about, oh, you only do one way. No, it's everything. When they start taking out stuff and start eliminating, that should be a red flag. And when you're in the martial arts, I think it helps bring that to your attention, because it's a lifestyle. Like you said, you're a blue belt, right? So I ain't a blue belt. I'm a white belt still. So that's the kind of ways to go. But it raises more awareness. Like, dang, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. Hey, the body mechanics are different on the ground versus standing up. It ain't the same.
Whole different animal. You can take a professional boxer and you can take a black belt at karate, you can take a black belt
Mhm.
at tempo, and you put those as soon as they hit the ground, they are like a fish out of water. You could take a white belt that's been training for 3 months, and he will
I know.
pulverize a professional boxer as soon as that boxer hits the ground. Or if you grab a hold of his legs or something,
Right.
you know what I
Right.
mean? But yo,
Right.
let
And
me
that's
do
what I was
this
gonna
though.
get to. I was gonna say I believe once a
Let me do this though. I gotta I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this right here because I gotta check some more comments and stuff. I'll be getting off pretty soon, so we can continue
okay.
talking. Tune into the next live because you got some good insight. I love to hear your opinion. Plug your channel too, man. Plug your channel real fast.
Yes, sir. We'll do.
Yo, plug your channel. It's a delay. He can't hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
No, but I'm
I
telling
can
you,
hear
what is
you. I
your
can hear
channel?
you. I don't know if my channel. Oh, miscellaneous 17. That's the channel.
Write it in the chat, and I'm gonna put it on the screen so people can go sub to you. That's what we about. We about building, man.
Okay. Okay. See if I can send it in here. Hold
Yeah, it's a little bit of a delay. I guess it might be his network or something.
on.
But yeah, I agree with what he said about MMA though. Yeah, Bruce Lee definitely started to spark the innovation. I think it was what was it? What was it? Helio Gracie, I think. He was going around to different gyms and challenging um, some of the fighters they had. They would go around and they would put their guys, their jujitsu guys. There we go. I got his name right here. They put their jujitsu guys against other styles. So they would do dojo storming, like in the movies, how different fighters would go to different dojos. A lot of people don't know Mike Tyson at one point was about to take a fight with I think it was Hoist Gracie. He was about to fight Hoist Gracie. He was about to take a fight because Mike Tyson back then didn't give a fuck. He was about to pay Mike Tyson to fight Hoist Gracie, and his goddamn representative stepped in like, absolutely not. You are not fighting Hoist Gracie. Sit your ass down somewhere. So now he ended up, I think it was Don King, matter of fact, they wouldn't let him fight Hoist Gracie. But yeah, he was about to take the fight, not knowing what he was getting into. They actually had they went against what was his name? Chuck Norris. He actually got choked out by I think it was Hoist Gracie as well. But he actually went on to become a black belt under the Gracies too. But yeah, no, it was Carlos Gracie. I think he trained underneath. I think it was Carlos Gracie. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That's Miscellaneous channel right here. If you guys want to go subscribe to him, you can do so.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like if you ever come to Ohio, man, it's a spot that we I train at, man, and we love to have you come out, man. It's a cool environment. Um, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah. So if you look in the chat and maybe some of the last few videos you did and you see my channel name, that's me. That was me talking to you, man, or saying certain stuff. So I was like, let me join this chat, man, because I really, this is kind of new to me, man. Like joining in like this, but I said I really felt a strong urge to talk to you, man, because I said I feel you, I feel your energy, man. Like you got some good stuff that I definitely want to get hip to. And if you ever want to, get into some chess, man, I don't mind teaching you what I know. You said that you don't know chess, man, but jiu-jitsu is a lot like that. So I'll say jiu-jitsu is pretty much like the closest thing because it's
your
so
sound is off
complex and
again.
there's so much stuff like.
Your sound is off again. It's like it's going quiet. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up though, bro. Thank you for tuning in. Hop in next Sunday. We'll be on live Tuesday too. All right. Thank you. Yeah, his connection was weird because every now and again it would go quiet, so it was real odd. But yeah. So yeah, my man was spitting facts there. So where we at? I got a bunch of comments I might have missed. Let's see. I got the spam gone. We are immortal light beings having a physical existence. Yes, sir. That is facts. The spirit is the actual version of us. The flesh is literally just a vessel. You see what I'm saying? They want you to think your body is you, but it's not that simple. No disrespect to any Christians. Facts. Red ink shows up as blood. Well, I did some research, and my research basically said when you use blue ink, that symbolizes the living soul. When you use red ink, that symbolizes the nationality, which is American. When you use black ink, that symbolizes the debtor. When you use purple ink, that symbolizes royalty. And green is, I think green is Mason, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Long form, and they got sent overseas. Yeah, the long form, which whenever you get your certificate of live birth is what they call it here. Whenever you get that form, you'll see there's the bottom part they covered up because they don't want you to see the bottom part because the bottom part is a bank. It's like bank information, banking information. They don't want you to know the certificate of live birth or the long form is basically a banknote. As a matter of fact, if you look on the bottom of your certificate of live birth, I've actually seen a few of them that actually say that it's a banknote in the lower left hand or right hand corner. It might be the upper left hand or the upper right hand, depending on where you live. But yeah, he was talking about Puerto Rico because the what is that? What is that? I think it's the bank or something like that. Our bank and the private side that you discharge debt with, I think, is in Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken. And people actually, when they do processes, they use Puerto Rico in the processes. That's how people used to get married. They wrote their Bible on this day, such a married, no license, no government. Yep, private, completely private. Actually, interesting thing about it is you can still get married privately. Marriage is nothing but a contract. That's all a marriage is. And when you get the state involved, that's when shit gets complicated. That's when they putting you on child support. That's when they taking your children away. That's when you get the state involved. But if you were to get married, you can literally do a private contract between two people because that's what it basically is. A private contract, and y'all can keep that document somewhere safe. You know what I mean? That both of you guys sign, and you can even have it notarized, and it'll be completely private. You know, we allowed this. We needed all this to happen so we never have to go through this BS again. Back to divine peace and unity. Yeah, but see, here's the part about that, goddess. We might be on point with it, and we might even be able to convince our offspring to be on point with it. But guess what? When you have easy times, that breeds weak men and women. And then weak men and women make hard times. Hard times make strong men and women, and then strong men and women go on to make easy times. It's a cycle. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm under the assumption that this happens every so 1,000 years. That's why I'm saying the way the planets work and all that stuff, this happens. You see what I'm saying? 1933, we all became livestock. Yep. You can read the book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's a good book, but they'll tell you all about it. You had those bankers and those politicians that met up on that island and decided to create what's called the Federal Reserve and create a plan to get the gold and silver out of the economy for complete dominance and control. And that was in The Creature from Jekyll Island. Real good book. Read that in the end of 2020. Yo, friends, it's hard to find a seeded watermelon. Let me tell you something, dude. It's almost impossible. I won't eat no non-seeded watermelon. I ain't that shit. I don't want it. Give me mine with the seeds in it, with the zinc and all that stuff. I want the white and the black seeds. Give me that. The whole damn world, Craig. The whole world global. Facts. MMA, yes indeed. Disconnect. Be nice to my guest, Healing. You're being sold on the stock market in shadow. Oh, not you, the all caps name. If you're still going around thinking that you're the all caps name, then yes, indeed, you are being sold in shadow. Me personally, I'm not a legal fiction. I don't know about you. My name wasn't given to me in all capital letters. My name is spelled properly. You feel me? So nah, that ain't me. That's the Ens Legis all capitals name. And there's actually a process you can do called the secure party process where you can put it on record that you're not the same entity. On the birth certificate too. Blue ink is business. Yeah, I read differently. Blue ink is the living soul from what I gathered. Dead is the debtor. And that's why they tell you in school blue or black is acceptable for business. That's what they say in school. That's what they told me in elementary. Blue or black is acceptable for business. Black is the debtor, the dead entity, and the blue is the living soul. They fleece you in the public for their benefit. Yep. Common law court. Jimmy, did you come back? You were here when we first opened up, and now you back again? Like he just came in like blah. They're going to get a crash course. Those who know how to survive will do so. Yes, indeed. That's facts. They're going to get a crash course again. Shit, the same thing. Yeah, that's facts. 100%. Yes, indeed. So, man, we had some good information expounded upon. Thank you for tuning in, Stephen. Thank you for tuning in. If you're interested in subscribing to Stephen's channel, it's right at the top there in the comment section. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed here. Drop a like on the way out. Make sure y'all do that. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. I love you guys so much. You guys keep me, reading and studying. And if you need a consultation, if you want to know how to change your status, if you want to know about any of the stuff I was talking about today, please hit my email down at the bottom for a consultation, and I'll be glad to get to you. I have a few consultations to do this week. I do have more people reaching out, so I'll be more than happy to help any of you guys who are watching with anything I can help you with. So, yeah, I do have, speaking of Telegram healing, I do have a Telegram group too, and I will drop that for you guys on the way out for those of you who are new. And so you guys can hop on there. We do talk about things periodically during the week, and a lot of things that I'm ideas I get of things to cover comes from that group, or I'll let guys know exactly what I'll be covering in that group as well. So here's the link right there. I'm gonna put that in the public domain right there. Here's the link to the Telegram group. If you guys do want to join the Telegram group, please do so. I'd be more than happy to have you guys there. We could chop it up. Let the fam do what the fam do. Feel me? Yes. So thank you so much for tuning in. It is A6, the Foreign National Born Natural. We will be back live and direct, live in effect next Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday, I will be doing a small live. I won't be doing the big show, but on Tuesdays, what I usually do is just a small little half an hour stream just to touch bases with the squad. And then again, my email is there. If you need me, hit me up. All my social medias and stuff like that I have is there in the description section too. And I also do shorts throughout the week to keep the algorithm going. So spread the knowledge, share the channel, share the videos, let people who are interested know that we go and we do this on Sundays so we can continue moving forward. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love you guys. Have a good night. Peace.